Were you arrested for failure to pay child support? Now you are behind in the child support, and you could go back to jail again for failure to pay child support, but you still don't believe you're the child's biological father.
No.
Strap in, everyone. We're diving headfirst into a heart-wrenching battle of paternity today, with Mr. Burks vehemently denying he's the father of Miss Brown, despite decades of being on the hook for child support. Is he really not the father, or are these claims a desperate attempt to reclaim his life?
Burks, you claim to be more than $26,000 in debt due to child support for the defendant, Ms. Brown, who you say is definitely not your biological daughter. You are here to prove that in court so you can return home and get the debt erased from your record. Ms. Brown, you state that for 30 years you've known only one man to be your father.
The air is electric in the courtroom as Miss Brown takes the stand, her emotions palpable. She's been told her whole life that Mr. Burks is her father, and now the ground beneath her seems to be crumbling. How could the man she called dad deny her after 30 years?
I am hurt. I'm disappointed. I don't even know how to feel. I can't even believe somebody even have a question of how I feel. I'm 30 years old. 30 years old. And I have to deal with this, you know, and then he brings up talking about it was a one-night stand with my mom and all that kind of stuff like that. It wasn't no one.
Miss Brown fights back tears as she recounts childhood memories, her voice quivering with each word. She insists he was always there, but Mr. Burks shakes his head, his face a mask of stern denial. It's a clash of memories and reality, tearing at the very framework of family bonds.
All your life, you've known him to be your father.
Yes, Your Honor. And it's just like, how could you come up with this? He just crazy, deranged or something. It doesn't make no sense.
Your Honor.
As Mr. Burks recounts his version, he paints a picture of a one-night stand turned lifelong burden. He's adamant, claiming his life was derailed by a false claim of paternity. But the pain in Miss Brown's eyes tells a different story. Who's spinning the tales and who's caught in a web of lies?
I met a mother at a restaurant in the drive-through window. So I was young, trying to, get my Mac on. I'm Mac Daddy. And so she said, well, come back, after work. After I get off work. So I went back after work, and I picked her up, and we went to a hotel. I did my thing, but I did not.
The judge looks on, her expression unreadable as she sifts through the allegations and counterclaims. It's a legal maze, each turn more confusing than the last. The tension is palpable. This isn't just about money, it's about a life's worth of fatherhood on trial.
When they've been to court, determined I was behind a real rich of $40,000. I'm thinking, man, look at here, how am I gonna pay $40,000 all these years? And why would you wait till she gets 17 years old to file that?
Why would you wait till
That sounds like a conspiracy to me. If you hadn't that right now, if you were so disrespectful.
Yeah, I am, because
that's why.
In a stunning twist, evidence is brought forward. Old letters, photos, a tape of voices from the past. Each piece seems to deepen the mystery rather than solve it. Could these mementos be the key to unlocking the truth, or just more ghosts from a disputed past?
But you never accepted deep down that she was your biological daughter.
Right, that's right.
Her whole life, she's lived 30 years thinking you're her father.
I never talked to her about that until recently. Until the last maybe 9 years, she was pretty good up until then. Then she started, I don't know what happened to her. She started getting very disrespectful.
Now as the clock ticks down, the pressure mounts. Mr. Burks' girlfriend presents a compelling argument, citing dates, places, and is backing up Mr. Burks' story. The courtroom's air thickens. Will the truth finally surface, or will doubts continue to cloud what's real?
And me, myself, I had doubts. She's a very beautiful lady, but she looks nothing like him to me or the other kids. And she's very disrespectful. As you can see, I said nothing to her, and she already started to disrespect me.
But disrespect really has nothing to do with DNA.
Now, she came to my church one time. I put it to you just like this. She came to my church, and, she brought someone.
Then, the moment we've all been waiting for, Miss Brown's sister also shows up and is ready to defend Miss Brown's claim. She presents facts, important memories, and dates that she remembers in order to corroborate her story. But what is the real truth?
This is your sister, and from that time on, that's all we knew, is each other to be sisters, and nobody ever told us different until she came out of the closet. We have to love people. We can't mistreat them because of the choices that they make. God doesn't mistreat us because of our choices.
As the words hang in the air, emotions explode. Relief, shock, despair. No matter the outcome, lives will be forever altered today. The fallout of this paternity test is more than just legal. It's deeply personal, touching the core of what family truly means.
Mr. Burks, you are the father.
See, I told you, and you sit up there and do me like this. That's what you gonna do? See, it's all about my lifestyle. But you know what? After this, he don't have to worry about me. I promise that he don't have to worry about me, because if it took all this for you to do this to me.
And as the courtroom begins to clear, the echoes of what's been lost and found linger. For Mr. Burks and Miss Brown, the journey doesn't end here. It's a new beginning, for better or worse, crafted by the hands of fate and law intertwined in the complexity of life's unscripted dramas.
But listen,
She treat me like a stranger.
Mr. Burks.
Because that's how you treat me.
Listen. You're not the first man nor the last man or last parent to have a child that's just a firecracker. There's something in the way you approach her and the way you treat her. It sets her off. It just nabs at her side. You got a special
Prepare yourselves, everyone. The courtroom turns electric as Mr. Haskett takes the stand, denying all allegations of fatherhood. His ex-partner, Ms. Benskin, is ready to battle it out, adamant that he's the father of little Kensley. Who's telling the truth and who's caught in a web of lies?
You have opened your case today because you say the defendant refuses to accept that your 4-year-old daughter, Kensley, is biologically his. You are here to prove he is her father before he gets locked up for unpaid child support. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Haskett, you are here with your girlfriend and claim the plaintiff is a money-hungry liar.
The tension ratchets up as Ms. Benskin lays out her claims with passion. She argues that Mr. Haskett is trying to escape his responsibilities by denying paternity. Meanwhile, Mr. Haskett, supported by his current girlfriend, labels Ms. Benskin as deceitful and money-hungry.
Is it he is already under an order to pay child support, and yet he's standing here denying he is the biological father? Take me back and fill me in on those facts.
Because we had a court date set and changed.
It didn't get changed. He didn't show up.
We had to go again, and then they said that they changed it, and then he rescheduled it.
Ms. Benskin recounts the struggles of raising Kensley alone, painting a picture of Mr. Haskett as a father who's turned his back on his own child. Her voice trembles with emotion, pleading her case, while Mr. Haskett's dismissive glances suggest he's far from convinced of his paternity.
You found that out? Did you contact Mr. Haskett?
More than once, and I got blocked on Facebook. I called his family members, and they knew everything about it, and they are still in Kensley's life. He just chooses not to be.
So you've talked to his family members. They accept Kensley. You told him you were pregnant, and he just didn't respond. You couldn't get an answer from him.
Yes, Your Honor.
So was he the only guy you were having sex with at the time?
Mr. Haskett argues, insisting that financial difficulties and a complicated relationship history cloud the truth. He claims his absences in court were due to miscommunications and scheduling mishaps, not neglect or denial. Yet, Ms. Benskin's frustrated outbursts paint him as a man dodging his duties.
And your Kensley's dad was either Brandon or blank. Me and blank went to court and DNA was done because he actually showed up to court, unlike Brandon, and DNA proved she wasn't blank's. That only leaves Brandon, honey. And then, Miss Scott, you say...
The judge interjects, demanding clarity and truth as the arguments grow heated. She questions Mr. Haskett's commitment and Ms. Benskin's accusations, aiming to cut through the noise. The audience leans in, captivated by the unfolding drama.
But the text indicates that you are saying that the other man was ruled out, so only Mr. Haskett could be the father.
I've offered to pay for DNA. I offered to pay. We didn't have to go to court. I was going to pay for a DNA test. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't show up. He could have done it when she was born. He didn't do it. He could have done it when we went to court, and he didn't show up.
And Miss Benskin, I get that. And Mr. Haskett is wrong.
Suddenly a twist. Evidence is presented. Old text messages and social media exchanges that hint at a deeper relationship than Mr. Haskett admits. Ms. Benskin claims these prove his paternity, while he argues they're taken out of context. The plot thickens.
Still 4 years his biological child. And on top of that, you now feel like it's appropriate because people have gotten on your nerves with words and telling people that somebody else got tested and is not his, so it only leaves you spinning lies that only furthers the doubt. All right, so I'm about ready to go to the results, but before I do, Ms. Bensky.
Now, the judge calls for a moment of calm as they prepare for the DNA test results. Mr. Haskett's face is stoic, hiding his nerves, while Ms. Benskin appears anxious, her future and her child's hanging in the balance. The courtroom holds its breath, waiting for the results that could change everything.
Can I show you this picture of them two when they was little?
Show me your picture. Jerome, hand me the picture. This is a picture of Kinsley as a baby on the left and Mr. Haskett as a baby on the right. And you feel the resemblance is uncanny.
Where?
The ears, the nose.
The results are revealed and the reaction is instant. Whether it's vindication or devastation, the impact is undeniable. Mr. Haskett's expression shifts, caught off guard, while Ms. Benskin reacts with a mix of relief and sorrow.
Mr. Haskett, you are the father. You are the father.
Now, how to...
As the dust settles, the judge offers words of wisdom, urging both parties to think of Kinsley's future. The courtroom quiets down, reflecting on the emotional roller coaster they've witnessed. It's a poignant reminder of the complexities of family, love, and legal ties.
So, in a responsible way, this bickering back and forth is not going to help anybody. And this child is old enough where she knows exactly what's going on. You better believe it. Miss Scott, I do appreciate that you've been here and you stood by Mr. Haskett and even been a voice when he didn't have one and been his memory when he didn't have one.
In the aftermath, Mr. Haskett and Ms. Benskin are left to navigate the new reality of their situation. Regardless of the past, they now face the task of co-parenting, bound together by the undeniable truth revealed in court today. It's a solemn end to a fiery battle with hope for a more stable future for little Kinsley.
But I do want you to allow these two people an opportunity to figure out what the visitation, what the parenting situation will be like. And that means, Mr. Haskett, you got to step up and speak for yourself so you can be there for your child. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
This child is 4 years old. She's got one man she's calling daddy. Now she's realizing she now has a biological father.
Prepare for a courtroom roller coaster, folks. Today, Mr. Bonner vehemently denies fatherhood, sparking an explosive showdown with Ms. Fahey. Caught in a whirlwind of accusations and emotions, he contests the $7,000 debt and his role as father.
You've been arrested numerous times as a result of the child support, and you're ready to prove once and for all that you're not his father.
In the heated battlefield of the courtroom, Mr. Conway unleashes a torrent of frustration. He recounts being arrested multiple times due to the crushing weight of child support, money he believes should never have been his burden. How can a man cope when the law turns against him?
Yes, Your Honor, basically this $53,000, they say, well, I'm paying child support in Nebraska, but he has two orders. One order in Nebraska, one order in Missouri. I didn't know nothing about exactly where they was in 2005 until I got arrested.
And you've never hired an attorney to deal with this issue?
Ma'am, that's just the problem. If I had to get an attorney, I had to get an attorney.
Ms. Cruz, unwavering and fierce, stands her ground. She declares with certainty that Mr. Conway is the father. Is her certainty based on facts, or is this a desperate attempt to secure financial stability at the expense of truth?
Your Honor, I couldn't sign it. The day I asked her to sign the birth certificate, she told me no.
That's a lie.
Did you say that, Ms. Cruz?
She told me not to sign the birth certificate. You know what? That's why my name is not on his birth certificate. But
Jerome, let me see that evidence, please.
On other kids, my name is on their birth certificate. She told me not to sign the birth certificate.
You say she didn't let you sign the birth certificate?
Mr. Conway argues that this $53,000 might as well be $1 million, his voice echoing through the court. He's faced bankruptcies, lost jobs, and shattered dreams, all because of a claim he vehemently denies. Can the court untangle this knot of financial and emotional ruin?
Your Honor, she left town. We was doing all right. We both had a job. We happened to lose our apartment. When we lost our apartment, she hit the corner. She was gone for 9 months. She came back in June. Told me in July she was pregnant. She had the baby in January.
Right.
That's 7 months. The baby got to be 9 months.
Mr. Conway's supposed son takes the stand, his testimony painting a grim picture of his life. There is a lot of neglect between the two, clearly. His relationship with his supposed father had its fall and rise, only to be pulled back down by the relentless demands of child support.
Yeah, I knew that because a couple times he came down to visit me. He tried to call me when he did, but I was Me and him is way different. I remember him taking me into and he said he wanted to call. He said he wanted to see when the bus was coming. Ooh. The dude at the door said, I can't come in because I'm too young. I sat down back by Salvation Army in the Greyhound until he came out.
In a heart-wrenching twist, Mr. Conway admits to missing important moments of young Trevin's life, not out of disregard, but from the crushing pressures that kept him bound. Each missed birthday and milestone haunts him, a reminder of what could have been if not for the shadow of debt.
He's never held up his end of the bargain, ever. He's never been...
And you feel like he did not make an effort?
Never made an effort. It's not hard. You're not just living for you now. You have to live for somebody else. Like I do. You know what I'm saying? I've been through some stuff, but I've been through some things, but I don't let that...
The judge, moved by the poignant stories of broken dreams and financial despair, signals for silence. He reviews the files, the weight of the decision heavy in his hands. What will be the verdict that could alter lives forever?
There's no way he wouldn't value what his feelings and emotions are. You standing here in this courtroom doing just that right in front of my face. And the truth is, with the dates you gave me on that calendar, I get why you could have doubt. I get it. Math, it's odd.
That's his math, though.
But
as the judge prepares to reveal the results, Mr. Conway and Ms. Cruz lock eyes. Two souls intertwined in a saga of accusation and denial, each seeking closure in their own way. The room falls silent. The moment of truth is at hand.
It breaks my heart, that story about how his stepfather has a child and it's his real child, and he always felt like he was on the outside. Did you hear that?
Yes, I do. I understand that, Your Honor.
So now, are we ready for the results?
I am ready.
Certainly.
The results are in, announces the judge, his voice resonant in the still courtroom. In the case of Conway versus Cruz, pertaining to 20-year-old Trevin Cruz, the pause is excruciating as everyone leans in, awaiting the words that will define futures.
Mr. Conway, you are his father.
That's what I'm talking about. Get your life together. Get your life together. You ain't had no business. We don't want nothing from him.
Your Honor.
Yes, sweetheart. What would you like to say, Mr.?
I accept your apology, but honestly, after coming on this after 20 years,
Ms. Smith says that she has been waiting all her life to hear the truth. She claims that she is tired of the defendant's back and forth as it pertains to paternity. She has opened her case today to prove that the defendant, Mr. Lewis, is her biological father. Mr. Lewis claims that years of doubt have caused him to question paternity. Their case begins like this.
Ms. Smith, you say you've been waiting your entire life for the truth and opened your case to prove that Mr. Lewis is your biological father. You claim you are tired of his back and forth as it pertains to paternity.
He didn't sign her birth certificate? Wow. His doubts must be really intense for him not to sign her birth certificate. But how is it that she got to believe he was her father all this while only for her to find herself in paternity court to prove that?
When you hear Ms. Smith speak like this, what's your response?
Your Honor, first of all, her mom, me and her, we got to dating. Wasn't no relationship going on. It was just a hit and quit thing. That's all it was.
But there's a whole bunch of people here in this world from a hit it and quit.
Mr. Lewis seems to be very certain that she is not his daughter. He tells the judge that he had a hit and quit thing with her mother and they never actually got into a relationship. But we can't deny the fact that when he says that Ms. Smith is not his daughter, it breaks his heart.
I got a baby. I'm a real man. I go and see my ex-wife right there. Me and her, we was together. We went up there to see what was going on. When we went up there, I remember good as day, when we went up there, it was a conflict going on between Liz and her mother.
Honestly, that's really commendable. Shows that Mr. Lewis is actually a good man. He explains to the judge that he took Ms. Smith to his house because he did not want her to get into the system, because her mother dealt with the system at the time.
My mother always told me that he was my father. She had no denial of him not being a father. She hasn't messed with nobody else. And I just feel like...
She was a neighborhood bro.
Hold on.
Excuse me.
Let's be respectful.
Excuse me.
Man, that's crazy! After taking her into his home, Mr. Lewis took care of Ms. Smith from when she was about 4 days old to when she was 11 years old. That's 10 years of him being her father. Now you can understand Ms. Smith's pain when she hears him say that he is not her father.
Him trying to be a fake father to me. My whole life.
Fake father.
Why do you say a fake father? Explain. I see the
Because one
case.
minute he was there, and the next minute he wasn't, like he was a ghost. I just don't understand how you can take somebody.
I don't even know what to believe at this point. Ms. Smith says that she remembers Mr. Lewis being a fake dad to her, and he was never really present in her life, even when she tried to get a DNA test to find the truth. Mr. Lewis refused to follow through.
And Your Honor, you tell me. You look at her and you tell me.
This is a photo of a man?
Yes. That's the man that's the man. Yeah, tell me about it, Your Honor. Yeah, tell
You
me.
believe this is her biological father?
That is her father. You know why I say that?
His great-great-uncle? Oh my goodness, that's one heavy truth bomb. Mr. Lewis submits his evidence to the court, and it's a picture of a man who he claims is Ms. Smith's face. He believes that the man in the picture is her father because he caught the man and Ms. Smith's mother having sex.
I pulled up in the yard, family house. The door was cracked, it was open. I walk in, the bed is sitting right there, right in front of the door. Small apartment, smacking. They getting it.
That's actually insane. Imagine walking in on your uncle having sex with the woman he is supposed to have a relationship with. Wow, my jaws would honestly drop if I walked into something that insane for real.
Do you agree with Miss Smith's testimony that you were inconsistent raising her? She said sometimes you were there, sometimes you were ghost.
Yeah, that's true.
Why is that? Was
Yeah.
it because of the doubt?
It was because of the doubt, and plus I was in and out of town.
Nothing is changing his mind from the fact that he still believes the man in the picture is her father. Mr. Lewis doesn't deny the fact that he was in and out of Ms. Smith's life, though. He says that he had doubts, and he also was doing a lot of traveling.
Miss Moore, I'd like to ask you, what do you know about this case?
He had brought me his daughter. He told me he had a daughter. And I seen Brittany for the first time, and I said, wow, she looked just like you.
And just to be clear, you are Mr. Lewis's ex-wife.
Yes, I am.
Mr. Lewis is on the hot seat now. His ex-wife, who happens to be one of Ms. Smith's witnesses, says that when he brought Ms. Smith home as a baby, he told her that she was his child, and she took care of her for quite some time before she split with Mr. Lewis.
Ms. Lewis, thank you for joining us. What's your relationship to Ms. Smith?
She is my sister, and the reason why I say that is because, my dad, he good at that, and he got a paternity test.
For the record, I just want to be clear, you are Mr. Lewis's daughter.
Oh, yes. That's my baby.
Wow, even his own daughter says that Ms. Smith is her sister, and she has always believed that in her heart. Oh well. Let's get to the results and put this to bed once and for all.
Mr. Lewis, you are not the father.
Oh, man. Tie down. That's our father right there. That's him right there.
Mr. Jenkins says that his girlfriend is a known cheater who has spent the last 2 years bouncing between him and her ex-boyfriends. He says that he doesn't believe he is the father, and this whole paternity issue has made him put a hold on their wedding. This is how their case begins.
Mr. Jenkins, you say your girlfriend is a known cheater who has spent the last 2 years bouncing between you, her ex-boyfriends, and her co-workers, and can't be trusted. You say there is no way you are the father of her daughter Asher, and this paternity doubt.
That is one heavy allegation. Mr. Jenkins begins by telling the judge that he doesn't trust his girlfriend because he has caught her cheating on him not once, but multiple times. What's funny is that she still tries to cheat on me even after being caught.
But it's making me have more and more doubts as time goes on because I keep finding more and more cases.
So it has eroded the trust.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you don't really have a foundation.
No, Your Honor.
Because at this point, you don't believe anything she says?
No, Your Honor.
Well, she's not denying the fact that she cheated. She says that when they initially got together, she thought about leaving him, and that's when she cheated on him. Mr. Jenkins always includes that he sleeps on the couch and does all he can for the child.
Well, she ended up messaging me saying, hey, I'm staying late until 2 a.m. at midnight is when she was supposed to get off. So I drove by about, say, 1 o'clock, and I noticed the business was already closed. Then I realized there's only 2 vehicles there. There's her car and her ex-boyfriend's truck.
Ow. That's enough grounds for suspicion, honestly. Mr. Jenkins says that he caught her cheating with her boyfriend when she claimed to be working late after office hours. He also found out that she had been texting him for more than 2 weeks before he caught them.
That probably is true, but that we were talking as friends because,
You were speaking like you had never broken up.
Well,
what did the messages say, Mr. Jenkins?
They were speaking about how I miss you and I love you and I wish I could be with you, but I'm busy right now.
If you ask me, I'd say that Mr. Jenkins was the rebound guy. Judge Lauren asked Ms. Hensley if she still has feelings for her boyfriend. She replied by saying that she initially did when she started dating Mr. Jenkins, but she no longer has feelings for him. Somehow I feel that's a lie.
So what happens from that point on?
Well, we got another job, because it's kind of a reoccurring issue is that whenever she goes to a job, she ends up becoming friends with some cute guy she met there. But we were working at a factory at the time.
I think you can see why I said earlier that it was a lie. Mr. Jenkins explains that even after he forgave her at their new job at the factory, she met a co-worker who she claims to find cute, and I'm sure you can guess what's going to happen next.
Oh, he's so cute, but he knows about David with the tear eye.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was there a co-worker, Miss Hensley, that you were interested in?
Yes, and we were friends, but I made it clear to him that I had a boyfriend, and that's why I told him about that, because people were trying to get me to leave David because they saw the way that he treated me.
I'm with him on that. I am not buying that story. Ms. Hensley admits that there was a co-worker she had feelings for, but she also claims that she made it clear to the co-worker that she had a boyfriend, and he stayed away out of respect. I'm sure you're also not buying that story.
I found out Shania was pregnant, and I didn't at first believe it because we had been together around 2 years at the time, and we were having sexual intercourse 2 to 3 times a day for the whole 2 years long. I'm talking like all the way through January, all the way through February, all the way through every single month.
Wow. Now that is something I was not expecting to hear. Mr. Jenkins says that they've been having sex 2 to 3 times every day all the while they've been together. I find it funny that they've been having this amount of sex, and Ms. Hensley still felt the need to cheat.
The thing I don't understand, Your Honor, is that out of all of those times, every single time was unprotected, and precautions were not taken to make sure that we did not have a baby.
Your point is, we had sex that many times a day for that many months, and she never got pregnant.
Yes.
Unprotected sex.
Yes, Your Honor.
That must be one hell of a health condition. Mr. Jenkins says that all the time they were having unprotected sex 2 to 3 times a day, she never got pregnant. Ms. Hensley replies by saying that she has a medical condition, and that's why she wasn't able to get pregnant that period.
That she had gotten pregnant, because as I mentioned before, all this time, and she never once had gotten pregnant.
So all of this made you have significant doubt, Mr. Jenkins?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that then affected how you felt for the baby?
It's all because she broke my trust as soon as we first got together, Your Honor.
Haha, that is hilarious. Mr. Jenkins says that he signed the birth certificate of the baby because at the time he had never seen a child come out of the mother's stomach. The shock from witnessing something like that made him sign the birth certificate.
What is your relationship like with Asher now? 6 months old.
I get along with her and she knows who I am, but I don't let her know. I don't call myself daddy in front of her. I want to be 100% sure because I don't want to raise a child that's not mine.
I'm glad he is being honest about how he feels. Well, let's get to the results and see if he is the father of the child. Hopefully the results don't break his heart.
Mr. Jenkins, you are the father.
Ms. Connolly says that 2 years ago, the court helped her to prove to her father that she was his biological daughter. Now she's in court to prove to her ex-boyfriend, Mr. Haskell, who happens to be the defendant, that he is the father of her child. Mr. Haskell, on the other hand, claims that she's just trying to pin the baby on him. Here's how it all started.
Ms. Connolly, 2 years ago, the court helped you prove to your father, Mr. Harrison, that you were his biological daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say your relationship has improved, and he is actually here supporting you in today's case.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, right. He is so popular, and the first time we get to hear of his name is in Judge Lauren's courtroom. He sure is one hell of an artist. Well, the case starts off with Mr. Haskell trying to explain that Ms. Connolly is trying to pin the baby on him because of his fame.
So this particular day, I see Ms. Connolly, and she's new. I don't even know her. I come in, I say, can I get my usual? She looks and says, who are you? I'm like, well, I'm one of the most famous singers in D.C. Like, you must not be from D.C.
This is just hilarious to listen to. Even Judge Lauren can't seem to hide her amusement that all of this happened before they even fit their order. order. Let's just say their bond happened because of their musical chemistry.
When I got home, I threw his number in the bag, and I called him a month later when I got bored and wanted someone to talk to.
Your Honor, that's a lie. She called me a week later, indicating that she was locked out from her home.
It's a lie.
Stating that she needed a shower to go to work.
Man, since this case began, Mr. Haskell and Ms. Connolly have not been able to agree on anything. Mr. Connolly says that the first time they met, nothing sexual happened. But just as she's about to conclude that statement, Mr. Haskell says that they did in fact have sex in their first meeting.
I come home one day, Your Honor, I got my female friend with me. I'm thinking I'm about to go and have a relaxed time in my room. She's laying in my bed. My mom not home. I'm asking, how did you get in?
Can I speak?
I have keys. Your mother gave me keys. How did you get keys if you don't know?
At this point, who is running the courtroom? Judge Lauren or these two overgrown adults? Geez, they just keep talking and yelling over each other that it's very difficult to understand what they are even trying to say.
That's how she got in the house.
Wait, you brought
Because my mom loved pizza. It was pepperonis every night.
First of all, his mother doesn't even eat pork, so I don't know why you're lying. He's a liar.
My
and
mom-
a master manipulator.
My mom.
Listen.
At least she's being honest. I like that. That's not something you see every day in paternity court. Ms. Connolly says that she felt she was in a committed relationship, but after a while she got tired of Mr. Haskell's behavior, and so she went back to school. A couple of months after being in school, she started to miss their sexual relationship.
As soon as I got back.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Is that true, Mr. Haskell? That's a yes or no question.
Yes, we had sex when she returned from Texas.
Is this the time frame in which you think you conceived your child?
Yes.
Mr. Haskell has to be the most delusional man on planet Earth. Ms. Connolly says that the moment she got back from school, she drove straight to his house and they had unprotected sex. She also says that she told him to be careful because it was during the time she was very fertile.
Mr. Barnett, how do you know Ms. Connolly, Mr. Haskell?
I was actually there when they first met.
You were?
Yeah, this is my cousin.
That's your cousin?
Yeah.
So you were there when they first met?
Yeah.
I can't be the only one who doesn't understand what's going on in this case. Now, Mr. Haskell's witness, who also happens to be his cousin, says that Ms. Connolly tried to flirt with him and also slept with a close friend of theirs.
At the time that Blair was born, were you all in a place where he participated in the birth with you? Did he attend doctor's appointments?
He only attended one appointment, and that's because I asked him, I begged him to come.
Apparently Mr. Haskell was there when the baby was born. But here's the thing. Ms. Connolly says that the only reason he was here was because she begged him, and she didn't put his name on the birth certificate because he said that he was not going to sign it.
Do you believe Mr. Haskell is your grandchild's biological father?
No, I don't really know Mr. Haskell. I never, I didn't know him at that time when she said she was pregnant. I never met him.
Oh, wow? Clearly, Ms. Connolly doesn't like her mother very much. Her mom walks into the courtroom to give her statement, and before she is able to say anything, Ms. Connolly is already attacking her and accusing her of not defending her.
Oh, Ms. Connolly, let me ask you this direct, simple question. Were you also having sex with the man in Texas?
Yes, but the time frame is different. We were good friends and we were involved, but it's not around the time.
Wow. I don't know why she stayed loyal to someone who was cheating on him. Ms. Connolly confesses that she was intimate with another man while she was in Texas. But the time frame was very different. At this point, I think we need to see the results.
Mr. Haskell, you are her father. Did you write a song for that?
Ms. Sims claims that her mother and alleged father purposely deceived her for 36 good years by claiming that Mr. Johnson is her biological father. She's suing them for paternity fraud because she says that she has proof that can back up her claim. Here is how the case begins.
Ms. Sims, you say your mother and your alleged father intentionally deceived you for 36 years by claiming that Mr. Johnson is your biological father. You are suing them for paternity fraud because you claim to have proof that you are not his daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
One thing I can tell you is that this is going to be one hell of a case. Ms. Sims's mother seems to be very certain that Mr. Johnson is her father. But Ms. Sims debunks that and claims that she has proof. I wonder what she discovered that's about to tear her 36-year bond with her parents.
Well, for my whole life, I've always thought that Henry, my dad, is my dad. And I just have a multitude of things that have come up that show me that he potentially could not be.
Well, you can see that she is not happy about the situation at all. She explains to the judge that she has uncovered things that show that Mr. Johnson can't be her father, including her health and the health of her daughter.
How do you respond to that?
I never intentionally lied to her a day in her life. So where she's coming up with this, I don't know.
Seems like even her mother has no idea what Ms. Sims could have uncovered. She says that she never intentionally and purposely lied to her, but she knows that Mr. Johnson is her real dad.
Miss Sims, you grew up a daddy's girl.
Right, definitely a daddy's girl.
With a wonderful relationship with the man you were told was your biological father.
Absolutely.
Can you talk to the court about that?
Yes, my dad, I met my dad when I was 4 years old.
Wow, I'm confused. Ms. Sims admits to being a daddy's girl, and she had the best times with Mr. Johnson while growing up. Mr. Johnson says the exact same thing. If they both say this, then how did their relationship change from all this love and affection to Ms. Sims saying he is not her father?
I've always known there was some doubt, but I never mentioned it to her because I didn't see any reason for it. Maybe she has less trust in me now, but it doesn't affect the way I feel about her.
You say you feel like she may have less trust in you.
Yeah.
Wow. So Ms. Sims was right after all. Her parents actually did hide something from her. Apparently there's a chance that another man could be her father, and both Mr. Johnson and her mother never felt the need to bring it up as a topic. That's sad.
So what do you say to your mother when you get this information and you say, I don't see these medical issues on either side of my family tree? What do you say to your mom?
Well, I actually talked to my dad first because, you don't ever want to, insult anyone or anything like that. And I actually talked to my dad about it.
There's no lie in what she said. That definitely is a big pill to swallow. If I were to be in her shoes, I would definitely lose my mind. Thank goodness she confronted her dad about the situation. Who knows? Maybe she would have ever known that she might have another father.
The possibility she may have another father, and is there something you hadn't told her?
She was FaceTiming me on the phone, and when she mentioned it, she was laughing and giggling, so I thought she was joking.
Just sad on all levels. No mother should keep such a huge secret from their child. It never ends well when they eventually find out. Ms. Sims says that when she asked her mother about the daddy thingy, she just brushed it off and thought Ms. Sims was joking about the question.
We ended up getting acquainted and ended up being friends. And then after we got to be friends, she'd come visit, we play music and talk and dump our problems on each other and stuff like that. It just went farther.
Kind of got serious.
Yeah.
You all did you become a couple?
No, we did not become a couple. She was already in a relationship.
Haha, looks like her mind is working pretty well. Apparently, Ms. Smith was in a relationship with another man when she met Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson says that they slept together only once, but Ms. Smith seems to remember things being a little different than that.
Mr. Johnson, what do you remember? You say you only had sex with Ms. Smith one time?
We were seeing each other for about 2 months as friends. One day we took a shower together and we ended up in the bed having sex.
Did you know she was in another relationship at the time?
Yes, I did. That's why it took me so long.
Oh, that is so true. No kid wants to hear that at all. Sounds so cringe. Oh well. Mr. Johnson says that he knew that Ms. Smith was in a relationship, and that's why they didn't have sex sooner. Like the judge said, all bets were definitely off the day they took the shower together.
What did you do with that information? Who did you tell?
I told him I was pregnant, and I told my ex I was pregnant.
Okay, so at that point, as a young woman, you realized you were in a question of paternity.
Aha, that makes sense. Ms. Smith says that she told both men she was pregnant. She goes further to explain that when she told Mr. Johnson at the time when they were still together, they broke things up and went their separate ways. Seems like he thought the baby belonged to her boyfriend at the time.
And so, Ms. Sims, you just said out loud, but I didn't meet my father till I was 4. Mr. Johnson, take me to the day you met her.
Her mom had contacted me and told me that I had a daughter. I went to meet her and walked in the house and she asked me, "Are you my daddy?" And And I said no.
That is so sweet. You can even see the smile on Ms. Sims's face that she remembers the moment that happened. Well, the results are in. Let's find out if Ms. Sims was right to doubt Mr. Johnson as her father.
Mr. Johnson, you are the father. That's your baby girl.
Ms. Williams and her two sisters are in court today because their mother's past promiscuous behavior led to them growing up without knowing their fathers. Their mom, Ms. Liddell, is also here to finally put an end to the paternity mystery because her daughters still punish her for past mistakes.
This man who was supposedly had been my father, and we were all wanting to know, like his family, him, my aunt that raised me and Jasmine, we wanted the paternity test.
This is about to be one chaotic case. One thing that we know already is that these girls do not like their mother. And maybe, just maybe, the mother doesn't like them too. Let's find out more.
As growing up, family members would say, no, he's not your father. It was a rumor going around that.
Who is that?
James.
The man who's going to appear in court today and has been tested.
Yes.
It's tasking trying to understand the issue at hand. The girls grew up thinking a particular man, James, was their father. But their mom would say during arguments that he wasn't. And then, this Mr. James doesn't treat all the girls equally because he doesn't think they're all his.
He calls out her name. Who are you? You talking about some, so you don't know who I am? Talking about some, I don't know. You talking about some, yes you do. She talking about some, oh, Lisa, they're your daddy. How is you not gonna know this is my daddy when you look at him?
Ooh. This family has more problems than paternity court can fix. The youngest, Lisa, doesn't believe James is her father. All three girls still carry the pain of being abandoned by their mother and left with relatives. However, their mother has her reasons for doing so.
Do you know who her father is?
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest. Jamie, no. Lisa, no. Jasmine, no. I'm not for sure if James is their father, if he's not their father. Because I was whorish. I did me.
It's easy to see where the girls are coming from. The woman has no idea who the father of any of her three kids is. This means that even Mr. James Williams might not be the father of any of them.
You are these young girls' biological father. Do you believe that?
Deep in my heart, yeah, and I hate to say it, and it's hurting me to say it too, but no, I do not.
While Mr. James has been present in their lives to the best of his abilities, he's never been 100% sure he's their dad, and the girls have felt the same way. Imagine living your life not knowing for sure if your father's really your father or your child's really your child. That's just so sad.
Why did you miss my 8th grade graduation? You weren't away.
Because
you were out. You were able to come. Why did you miss it?
Jamie, because I was a piece of, I'm not gonna keep down on myself, but I didn't care about y'all.
You see, it's not even about their paternity anymore. These girls need to go to therapy with their mother to dissect the pent-up hurt both parties feel. Even if they find out who their fathers are, they're still going to walk out of this court, calling their mother the most insulting names.
But you have to be careful about words you use with children, with young people, because it will eat away at them, break them down, and lead them down the same road you were. Somebody broke you down.
This is a case like no other, because it's not only about finding out who their father is. This is about a mother whose kids wouldn't give her a chance to redeem herself. This is about three girls who grew up without a mother and have learned to hate her. This is about a broken home. This is about broken people.
What I'm trying to explain to you, nothing's gonna get better if the only thing you require of her is that she continue to tell you what a piece of crap she's been to you. Look, let me call it the way I see it. You see her? She living her agony every day.
Judge Lauren summed it up perfectly. The girls need to give their mom a breather because the woman is obviously aware she has done wrong by them and is living with the agony every single day. Could they give her a chance to right her wrongs?
Today in this courtroom, by giving you these results, I truly believe that what you need in your life and what you're wanting in your life is not just gonna come from finding out who your father is, but it's gonna truly come when you begin to find out who your mother was.
It's best we get to the results already. Let's find out if Mr. Williams is the father of any of the girls.
When it comes to Ms. Jasmine Williams, Mr. Williams, you are her father. When it comes to Ms. Lisa Williams, Mr. Williams, you are not her father. When it comes to Ms. Jamie Williams, Mr. Williams, you are not. her father. Ms. Allen, you were in court today claiming the defendant, Mr. Levant, is denying your 6-month-old daughter, Layla, only because he's desperate to try to keep your affair with him a secret. You're here to expose that secret and prove paternity. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Allen claims that Mr. Levant is keen on keeping her 6-month-old baby a secret. Isn't that something? Mr. Levant, on the other hand, is here with his girlfriend, you heard that right, to prove her wrong. It's one thing to hear that your boyfriend is cheating on you, and it's another thing to come with him to paternity court to support him over another woman.
Why do you think he's denying the baby?
Because of his girlfriend, of course. His girlfriend telling him lies.
The girlfriend tells him lies?
Yes, Your Honor.
Like what?
No, I don't.
Telling him that the baby don't look like him.
That baby too light.
Whoa, okay, so his girlfriend is here with a semblance card again. It's an interesting thing how people come into paternity court expecting a baby to look some type of way. That's why we're here in paternity court, folks. Also, how come Ms. Allen got so comfortable with a man that has a girlfriend in the first place? Was he keeping that a secret too, Ms. Allen?
Mr. Levant, are you denying this child because you're trying to keep your relationship with your girlfriend?
No.
No. So you have a family together, you and your girlfriend?
Yes.
So there's a lot at stake here. You have children?
Yes, we do.
How many?
3.
You have 3 children?
Yes.
So Mr. Levant isn't keen on denying the child to keep his relationship with his girlfriend. Not so surprising, after all they have 3 kids together. He definitely will pass as a good dad. This must have been the force of attraction between Ms. Allen and Mr. Levant in the first place. Father of the year, really.
At the time, we was going through something and we split up for just the one night.
You split up for one night?
It was not one night.
We just split up.
Your Honor.
Like, we was going through some stuff.
No, it wasn't.
And
yes, it
we
was.
We had a break for a minute.
Yes, it was a one-night stand.
No, it wasn't.
Interesting. One misunderstanding leads to one night apart, and boom, Mr. Levant is on a planting spree. What a good justification for bringing another child into this great world. Kudos, Mr. Levant. Your abilities are now aligning perfectly to get you the Father of the Year medal. Imagine what would happen if he was apart from his girlfriend for a week, or even a month. Oh, Mr. Levant. I can't begin to imagine how you're assisting with the population control laws.
Mr. Levant had a girlfriend and 3 children when you were sleeping with him?
No.
Yes, you did.
Was it just a one-night stand?
No, it wasn't.
You commented on my firstborn
together,
child.
like I said, we was together 2010.
Y'all never was together.
No, yes, we was.
Over the phone?
Okay.
Oh, so Ms. Allen says they were together since 2010, but still, she had no idea that he had a girlfriend throughout this time? Mind you, he had a girlfriend that he shared 3 children with, so what excuse did he give you as he went on to raise 3 human beings, side by side with his girlfriend, Ms. Allen? Surely he did not tell you he went out for some milk?
But we was dating in 2010.
Y'all never was dating.
It was a long-distance relationship.
That's not what he told me.
I met him through a mutual friend.
So you've known him since 2010?
Yes, Your Honor.
But then you're saying all of you all were back and forth in a relationship for 5 years?
Yes.
It was a long-distance relationship. Would you look at that? So how exactly did all of this go down? Ms. Allen believed she was in a long-distance relationship with this man who was in another state, whereas Mr. Levant was busy making back-to-back babies with his short-distance girlfriend. That explains it. Now, Mr. Levant is getting us to know that he never told Ms. Allen that he was single. So what, all their conversations over the phone for the past few years, he just thought they were friends? Mr. Levant, who are you trying to fool?
You know this, Miss Lanier?
I knew about it, but I told him to stop contacting her.
They met in 2013, Your Honor.
We met in 2013.
So
we had our first child in 2014.
You was
then
not there when we met anyway.
And I just had a child right after you.
One out of there.
That's right, that makes so much sense. You were talking as friends, since friends casually have one-night stands and get pregnant for one another. Isn't that right, Mr. Levant? Now, if his girlfriend knew about this woman and told him to stop contacting her, that means Mr. Levant was confidently two-timing these women for what, over 5 years? Whoa, what a guy.
You are saying that Ms. Allen was intimate with another man somewhere during this timeline?
Yes.
Can you tell the court where?
In the park.
It was not at the park.
Oh boy, do we have a wild case in our hands here? She slept with her boyfriend and Mr. Levant during her conception window. So after some time, Ms. Allen decides she is no longer in a long-distance relationship and decides to get a short-distance boyfriend of her own. Then she goes on to break up with his boyfriend and go back to her long-distance boyfriend for a one-night stand. However, the old boyfriend and the new boyfriend could be the father of her baby. What a head-scratcher.
Contacted me through social media on Facebook since 2014 when my first child
was born.
So you knew.
She's been stalking us since day one. We've been together for 5 years.
That's not 5 years. Y'all been together for 3.
Looks like we have some psycho mothers here alongside the men today in paternity court. What's this about stalking? Ms. Allen allegedly knew about Mr. Levant's girlfriend and her first child. Looks like Facebook is a thick part of this case today. Also, Ms. Allen is here correcting her with respect to how long they have been dating for. Well, why not focus on getting the dates right on your own calendar and changing your taste in men, Ms. Allen?
Our last child in February.
You just had a child in February.
Yes.
Now, if this child, Ms. Allen's child, turns out to be your boyfriend's biological child, is this relationship going to withstand?
No, it's not.
And there you have it. Your man is the problem here, Ms. Mitchell. He is a lying, two-timing psycho, and you are here supporting him like your life depends on it. There's only one reason why you're pouring so much hate on Ms. Allen today, and it is because Mr. Levant cheated. Whether or not he turns out to be the father of this baby, the person that had sex with another woman in a park after just one night of problems in a 5-year relationship is your own boyfriend. Take a look at Mr. Levant's reaction after hearing the results.
Mr. Mitchell, you are not the father. Mr. Levant, you are not the father.
Yes!
Mr. Webb, you have been waiting 2 years for this day. You claim the defendant, Mrs. Forrest, left you for dead only to find out once you got out of a coma that she was pregnant and that the baby could be yours or her husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Webb, after taking a quick trip to the land of the dead, has returned to the reality of meeting his girlfriend, who he left with a flat tummy already possessing a baby bump. Oh, surely he must wish he booked a one-way ticket for the trip, because he has to deal with claiming the child and proving he is the actual father of the child. Patience is one of his virtues too, as he has waited 2 solid years for this.
How did you get yourself in this triangle?
My husband got in some trouble, and I ended up meeting Mr. Webb through one of my friends. We hit it off, and then I ended up leaving Mr. Forrest for Mr. Webb.
So you began a sexual relationship?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and were you using protection at the time?
No, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Forrest has a flair for troublemakers. More reason why she got hitched with her husband. However, the tenacity to go long was cut short when a particular trouble made her land in Mr. Webb's bed without using proper protection. Now, this has led to a fruitful harvest of having a baby. This is now a battle between the troublemaker and the patient returnee. Who owns the baby?
I had got a phone call saying that she was pregnant. I heard it from my aunt first, but on my way to Illinois with my dad, she had called me and told me that it was a possibility that Elena was my child.
Thanks to Mr. Webb's aunt, who was the first to break the news about the pregnancy. Mr. Webb was on his way to Illinois while reflecting on his journey to the other side. Mrs. Forrest, on the other hand, had just called to tell him she has a baby and there is a possibility the child belonged to him. Okay, Ms. Forrest is now trying to gamble her way to picking a dad for her child. What a move.
Some of her check would be coming up missing every time she would get paid.
No.
And so what did you suspect? Because something was missing out of her check?
She would get off at 10 o'clock. It would take at least 15 minutes to get home, but she would come in at 11 to 11:30.
It took about 45 minutes to get from where I was working.
So it was missing time and missing money.
Yes.
So Mr. Webb isn't just a patient man, but seems to be one with an analytical mind. I can imagine what amount of dedication he has put in, trying to constantly know the amount of time it takes Miss Forrest to travel from work back home and the discrepancies in her paycheck. Miss Forrest isn't just sleeping around. Is she funding her other men too?
From my knowledge, so like 3 days before he ever went into a coma.
No, Your Honor, I did not have any idea that we were split up.
Having problems.
I had called my dad for a bus ticket to Alabama. 2 hours after I got off the phone with him, I had ended up on life support.
How come Mr. Forrest knows so much about his wife's extracurricular love life? He seems to know more about it than Mr. Webb himself. Does this mean he acknowledges the fact that his wife cheated on him with this man, abandoned him while he was on life support, and he supports her fully still? Whoa. Isn't this just the world's most supportive husband?
I'm sure there were some feelings because you had gotten back with your husband while he's fighting for his life.
Which I loved. I loved Mr. Webb at the time, but we were...
You loved him?
Well, I mean...
So when you realized you were pregnant, when exactly did you realize you were pregnant?
The middle of September.
Of course, Miss Forrest. Of course, any sensible mother would not let her son in the vicinity of the woman who left him to go back to an ex. If she were dramatic enough, she should have gotten a restraining order even. You basically led the poor man on, and now you claim to love him too? Well, let's see what the world's most supportive husband has to say to that.
You're the father?
Well, she had told me ahead of time that I may not be be the father, but there was a chance that I was the father.
So now, what makes you stand in court today, Ms. Forrest, and say that your husband is definitely the father?
I have counted back the times from when she was born.
Oh, so this woman is really leaving everything to chance here. Look at her spreading the word and telling everyone they may be the father. Surely, if you check your texts right now, there just may be a text from Ms. Forrest that you may be the father. What a woman indeed. How come she got her husband to be in paternity court today with everything he knows? That's the real mystery here.
August 26, 2012.
So you saying August 25th, you all were intimate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Ms.
Yes,
Forrest?
Your Honor.
Without protection?
Yes,
Yes,
Your Honor.
Okay. So that's intimate with Mr. Webb.
Whoa, wait a minute. According to these dates, this woman was intimate with Mr. Webb on the day before he got into the hospital. So what? She decided to go back to her husband just like that? It's no wonder Mr. Webb's mother refused to let her see him. It makes absolutely no sense, Ms. Forrest. Now, she has 2 men in the same conception window and 1 baby in the mix.
You would be presumed to be the father anyway. A child born to a marriage, into a marriage, the husband is presumed to be the father.
I've took care of her since the day she was born. Well, a month after she was born. He ain't took care of her.
Mr. Webb, were you given an opportunity to see
No, Your Honor.
baby Elena after she was born?
I have not met Elena.
Oh, come on, Ms. Forrest. Now you drag him into paternity court, right? All this while, you refused him access to you or Elena. Now what do you want the man to do? Your golden husband, whom it seems like you'd absolutely love to be the father of your child, apparently even abandoned you and your baby for the first month post-birth. Mr. Forrest, what a guy.
Ms. Forrest, are you afraid he's going to take your daughter, or are you afraid he's her biological father?
I'm afraid that he's going to take my daughter.
He's trying to take our child.
I have a belief.
Now isn't that just embarrassing to say the least? Look at the reaction from the audience. Mr. Forrest obviously said that bit, thinking that he would get the same reaction from the audience. What a faker. With his behavior in court today, it is pretty clear that this man is here today simply to grease and protect his ego. Take a look at his reaction with the unveiling of the results.
That her biological father is Mr. Webb. Mr. Quarles, both you and your wife have petitioned the court today for a DNA test for 4-year-old Sierra Forrester. You claim that due to a one-night stand, you are now in financial shambles caused by child support for a child you don't believe is yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Forrester looks like she wants to capitalize on the fact that Mr. Quarles engaged in a one-night stand with her. She is basically trying to make him her gateway to financial freedom. It didn't seem appropriate to claim that he wasn't the father at first, but now she's claiming the opposite. She is doing this because he has been paying child support but now can't afford to anymore, as it resulted in him being in a financial crisis. Is she actually looking for her child's father or just looking to fatten her purse?
Every 2 weeks because my child support is getting taken out.
So you are having child support garnished from your checks.
Right.
And this is causing problems in your marriage.
Right.
But you do not think this child is yours.
No.
Ms. Forrester, you put him on child support.
Yes, ma'am.
You gave his name to the court.
Yes, ma'am.
Just as expected, constant child support deductions from Mr. Quarles' paychecks are causing marital issues in his family. What family can survive on less than $50 every 2 weeks? It's more like a lose-lose game for Mr. Quarles, as he thinks the child isn't his. More so, Ms. Forrester did not put his name as the father of the child on the birth certificate. So why continue to pay child support for a child that isn't his at the expense of his marriage?
I mean, I ain't signed no birth certificate.
Well, you were named the father by default because you didn't show up to court. The address they had of record, the notice went there. You say you had moved,
right,
but they sent it to probably your last known address. And then because you didn't show, and you were determined to be the father by default.
Mr. Quarles is the father of the child by default for not showing up in court. Not showing up in court on the set date can mean Mr. Quarles was trying to not take responsibility for the child. Could he be guilty? Could it mean he did not want to pay the child support, so he decided to be absent on purpose? Many questions only the paternity test result can answer.
They garnish your wages.
Yes, they garnish my wages. On that check, I gotta do other.
But you have arrears as well.
Right.
If you don't pay your child support, you can go to jail.
Yes, and next month I have a court date that they might just send me to jail for 6 months.
Sounds like Mr. Quarles doesn't mind going to jail because he definitely knows not paying child support is a first-class ticket to jail. Sounds like he doesn't mind being away for 6 months. I mean, who doesn't like a break? He will be getting a break from marital issues and paying child support for the time he will be in jail. But sadly for him, reality will welcome him starting from the 7th month.
Ms. Forrester, you say you initially said he was not the father.
Right.
Then you changed it.
Yes, ma'am.
How did that happen?
Because Miss Hernandez came up to me and asked me if he was was the father. I didn't want to cause any problems between their relationship, so I told her, no, he wasn't the dad.
Ms. Forrester, whoa, two tales, which one to believe? He is the father, then he isn't the father. You definitely did not want to cause marital problems for his family, but the child support claims are doing the job well. You had to lie to the wife, but you still had to claim child support. What exactly is your goal? The true father of your child, or the weight of your purse?
Ma'am, I took a lie detector test.
Wait, you're saying that it was more than one time?
Yes, ma'am.
And you asked the court to administer a lie detector test?
Yes, ma'am.
Jerome, do we have those results?
Yes, we do.
So you volunteered for a lie detector test because you say you had sex with him more than once?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how many times did you have sex with each other? This should be one question with the same answer when asked at different times between the both of you. One of you is definitely lying. Thanks to the advent of technology, the lie detector test result will vindicate one of you. But yes, we did it once or multiple times doesn't really matter. We have a baby.
Who she was sleeping with and just called him all year, since she's saying she only was with one black man, but other black men at the same job claim to have slept with her too.
Okay. But the other black men aren't named Ura Quarles.
Yay! Mrs. Quarles to the rescue. She's a very supportive wife. A good wife will definitely want to protect her husband's interests. More so when it has to do with his finances and not wanting a baby from his mistress that had not been proven to be his. But the polygraph has a high level of accuracy, which is why the court employs it to detect lies. So can we just accept its results?
Mr. Quarles during the window of conception?
No, Your Honor.
He says two guys said they were sleeping with you too.
It's two black guys.
He's the only black guy I've ever slept with my whole entire life. That's why
What's the difference if they black, white, yellow, green? What's the difference?
Because she's mixed. I mean, she's mixed, Your Honor. You know, so I'm just...
So you're saying the baby is biracial?
Yeah,
yes.
Ms. Forrester claims she has slept with only one black guy her entire life, and that's Mr. Quarles. Mr. Quarles, on the other hand, claims she is promiscuous. In fact, two other black guys have come to tell Mr. Quarles they both have slept with Ms. Forrester one time or the other. Mind you, all these are happening in the same workplace. Okay, are they actually working or just sleeping around and gossiping with each other on the job?
They were in a relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is I want to talk about this, on and off morality. I mean, on the one hand, you're saying I didn't want to break up their relationship by telling her that this could potentially be his child. But on the other hand, I am sleeping with him knowing that he's with her.
Now we are getting to know what it actually is. Ms. Forrester lied because she rode on the horse of morals to protect Mr. Quarles' relationship, but felt no lack of morals when sleeping with him. Okay, as she claimed, he slept with her. While they were having an affair, she knew Mr. Quarles was in a relationship. In fact, he was a married man. Yet she continued. What a show.
Mr. Quarles, you are the father.
I would like to see her. I have like visitation rights, everything.
No.
What did you say, Miss Forrester?
I said no.
So now you don't want them to be a part of your child's life?
My daughter's 4. She has a dad.
The results are out. Congratulations, Mr. Quarles. You're the father. Yes, child support continues. It's time to increase your shifts and double your pay. Mrs. Forrester is more concerned about her purse, as it may seem. She doesn't want her daughter's biological father anywhere near her till she is an adult. A crazy woman surely befitting an equally crazy man. Though this time, it seems Ms. Forrester is quite the competition.
And now Mr. Quarles wants to come into her life and confuse her.
And whose fault is that? Yours.
It's his.
No,
It's
that's your fault. You don't want to.
No, I asked him. I used to beg him to come and see her.
No, listen. So you basically just want to receive the support.
Exactly.
Mr. Hartfield, you say you made a mistake by having an affair, but you know you are not the father of Miss Streeter's child. You claim that Miss Streeter was openly sleeping with other men besides you. Today's results will determine whether or not you'll be able to save your marriage. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Hartfield is being the smooth criminal in court today as he lied to Ms. Streeter about his relationship status. When they met, he was very much married at the time, and he lied about the whole thing. To make matters worse, he convinced her to have his baby too. Now, he is here today, trying so desperately to save his marriage. Mr. Hartfield, what changed? You did not realize you had a marriage to save, or you thought there was a free cheat card? That's not how marriage works, okay?
We were dating for about 8 months, a long time. We were in a relationship, a committed relationship with just me and him. And throughout the whole relationship, he wanted to have a baby. He said he didn't get to raise any of his. So we went to the hospital when we got the birth control taken out together.
Oh, I see what's going on here. They were in a committed relationship. Mr. Hartfield, why are you 46 years old, already married to a woman, but in a committed relationship with a 22-year-old girl, feeding her cooked up lies and getting her to have your babies? Do you not have children her age, sir? Where exactly do they get these crazy men from? Now he's out here disputing everything Ms. Streeter says and spinning his own web of lies to Judge Lake.
It's possible that she's thinking about someone else because she and I did meet. That is a fact. And we did
did talk, and I found her to be very attractive at the time. And I even, did things to convince her that, okay, maybe I will be a guy that she could take a chance with as far as going out on dates.
Why would you be a guy she can take a chance with if you are married, sir? What chances are she taking that your current wife has not taken already? There is no reason why you would be going on dates with a girl half the age of your wife saying you are a guy she can take a chance with because you find her attractive. Can someone tell this man again that this is simply not the way marriage works?
Then found Mrs. Hartfield's page, and that's when I seen pictures of them. And I didn't even call her right away because he had told me, like, them pictures are old, she's professional, and for her image, she don't want people to know that we're not together. So I believed him. Matter of fact, I didn't even call her. I text her and let her know, like.
What a wild ride both women are having from just one crazy man. Imagine getting that sort of call with everything thrown at you like a brick. This man basically sat Miss Streeter down, prepared a table for a delicious meal, and fed her lies right to her face. She found out about his wife all by herself and gave her a call too. Turns out, the first time they had sex, it was a stone throw from his house too. Kudos to you, Mr. Hartfield. Surely he considered his matrimonial bed but decided against it. Kudos to you.
He texted me last night. I have the proof right here.
I'd like to see that. You say he text you?
He texted me earlier this week.
This is a text that says no, and then I'm horny, and then come over.
Oh my God.
And the next line says, I'm serious, I am horny as hell.
Now everyone knows you are a psychopath, Mr. Hartfield. Now everyone knows. With the amount of lies you told Miss Streeter, you're in court today, spinning the same web for everyone else. Imagine blatantly lying about the text before she brought out proof. Basically, nothing from this man's mouth is believable anymore. If there is no proof, there is no case.
I was here because I love him.
Daddy, hang up on
Genuinely,
you.
I was supposed to
Ask
be.
for money.
He kept asking me about marriage. He made me realize stuff that I never even knew I thought about, like future and being with him. He
Man,
all the
that
time
sounds
told
really
me
good.
he wanted to marry me.
This call for a stamp.
Now he's trying to stop.
Come on, just look at the woman. She looks so broken and at the same time, not too surprised. It's almost like she can imagine her husband doing all of this without a doubt. This man has been playing God knows what game with this young girl for months until he eventually got her pregnant. After, he promised her marriage too. So what? Is polygamy on the table for you, Mr. Hartfield?
And he said, oh, she's just some little girl. She ain't nobody. I didn't like texting, so I called her. And I'm like, we had a conversation. It was a decent conversation, to which I told her, best of luck. He's not going to take care of your child because he didn't take care of ours.
True.
I don't have time for children. I'm not dealing with this.
Oh my goodness. She knows her husband like the lines on her palm. She was right to tell Ms. Streeter good luck from the beginning because, honestly, she needs it. I mean, look at her right now. So, if Mr. Hartfield did not take care of his baby with his wife, what makes him think he would take care of this one? More so, this one from a young girl that is not his wife?
You wouldn't have
No, you said because I don't want to be with you.
I have a picture
I'm
on
just
where
saying,
he
Your
spent
Honor,
time with
I
my
do
baby.
have options. Even my wife, I love her. God knows I do. During the time that Dominique and I met, I had my own place.
What a great guy. This man is a manipulator and a narcissist. A second ago, his wife is a queen and everything. But right now, after she gives her opinion, he asks her to shut up and sit down. Why is this woman with this man in the first place? What do these women see in these psychopaths? Ms. Streeter mentioned for herself that she saw past his lies at some point already. So why is his wife still here taking all of this?
Talking to me. When I first met him, he had a lot of women he talked to.
Of course.
A lot.
Of course.
It was
Of course.
So not only was it me, it was other people.
Let the truth come out. That's exactly what I said.
I have my own place. I'm a man. I'm standing on my own 2 feet. And both of them want to go separate ways. That's fine with me.
Wow, so he has another place and other women too. His wife had no clue that he basically was living a double life. Who even is this man? What exactly is his goal with his marriage? He keeps saying that he is a man standing on his own 2 feet. Well, you are not a bachelor living in a pad, Mr. Hartfield. You are a married man with your own kids, so you cannot keep lying to these young girls. What is your problem?
We standing until I ask her to be seated. I don't know what part of this you think you running. Stop that nonsense clapping. You don't run me, and you don't run this court. Now, ma'am, Miss Hartfield, you're saying that this was not the story that you were told.
No.
What was your understanding?
I knew they had a relationship.
Can this man put a lid on it already? He is obviously here without cause. What do you mean you want a divorce? He is here suddenly playing the victim after behaving so foolishly to his wife, speaking to her and disrespecting the woman in the courtroom, whereas he asked her to be here in the first place? Are you bipolar, Mr. Hartfield, or just plainly a psycho? Here are the results.
Mr. Hartfield, you are the father. Miss Casey, you say that for more than 25 years, your mother has told you that a deceased man who is listed on your birth certificate is your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now another man, Mr. Edwards, is claiming he is your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Casey is in a dilemma with who her true father is. Her mother, Mrs. Ewing, claims her biological father, Mr. Hawkins, is dead, yet Mr. Edwards claims beautiful Miss Casey is his daughter. In fact, he had been in a sexual relationship with her mom at a time that coincided perfectly with her being conceived. This is a 25-year-old myth that paternity court has to unfold.
I know that's how she feels. If I would have knew that that's what she needed, I would have did my best to help her, but I did not know.
Miss Casey, you seem to kind of roll your eyes like you don't believe your mother.
It's not that I don't believe her. She has 9 children. My other siblings had their father in their life.
Mrs. Ewing has 9 other children. Mrs. Ewing must be passionate about procreation and intentional about being fruitful and multiplying. The good thing is they all have their father in their life, but for Miss Casey, she has had to bond with the name of the man on her birth certificate and not meet him physically. She definitely needed more from Mrs. Ewing. More drama is yet to unfold.
And Miss Casey, when did you hear that Mr. Edwards could possibly be your father?
Mr. Edwards had inboxed me and we had spoke. I had spoke with his youngest child and he was like, you sound like me. I seen a picture of you and my dad in St. Louis with my sister, which is his daughter.
It all started from an inbox from Mr. Edward. It was not so bad trying to align siblings and making them know each other. It's a good thing to keep the family together. But Mrs. Ewing, Mr. Edward is Miss Casey's older sister's dad. Oh, you do have some explaining to do here. They all look alike too. Are you trying to keep the light in the tunnel rather than out of the tunnel?
It's like the hair stands up on my back. She looks so much like my family. She's got everything that my mom had, you know, what my mom looked like. I got 6 other daughters. And my youngest daughter, I mean, if you look at her and look at her, you would do.
They look very similar,
Yes, yes, ma'am, they look.
Using physical resemblance to be the main criterion for concluding she is your daughter? You have 6 daughters and the last one resembles Miss Casey. Is this a good lead for her being your daughter? What about the biological aspect? Miss Casey only wants to know who her father truly is. She does not want to keep feeding on speculation and unreal tales.
To speak to him, what would you have said?
It would be like a dream come true. Like what anybody would love to meet Jesus, I would love to meet him. It will be amazing. I would just ask him a lot of questions like, what happened? Why did you leave? Is it something that she said to you or did to you to make you leave me and not want to be in my life?
Getting so close to the desired end, only to realize said end did not exist, is enough emotional pain. Mrs. Casey did some investigation that resulted in getting the contact of her so-called father, seeking to ask a lot of questions that she felt Ms. Ewing could not have answered appropriately. Why did you leave? Was it because of what she said or what she did? But the only reply she got was the disconnected line.
Using to me growing up not knowing where I'm from, who I came from, but her.
Well, Miss Casey.
Yes, ma'am.
You've been told for over 25 years that Otis Hawkins, the man you believe to be your father, was dead.
Yes, ma'am.
But he's alive.
Miss Ewing has made it seem like she is the second woman to defile the laws of science after Mary, the mother of Jesus. According to Miss Casey, both men are African American and her mom is Caucasian. So how come she looks Mexican? Ms. Ewing, the court has also found out that Mr. Hawkins is not dead. He is indeed alive. So let your explanation begin.
Oh my God, that is me. Oh, I got this picture. My sister lost it. I have this picture. Look at you, baby. This is the picture I had. My teddy bear, my best. I love that bunny. Mr. Snuggles was his name. I used to always take that bunny with me everywhere I go.
And Mr. Hawkins, thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Oh, what an emotional moment. This reunion is super emotional. Turns out Mr. Hawkins is truly alive and he is here to claim his daughter. Pictures give birth to good memories. That warm embrace must have soothed Ms. Casey and wiped off all the 25 years of unanswered questions. The void is slowly being filled. Ms. Ewing, you still have questions to answer though? Will the paternity test be the icing on Miss Casey's cake?
You remember the relationship with her mother?
Yes.
Tell me about that relationship.
It was pretty good at first, and it just, after some years, it just went bad. When I was overseas when Akana was born, and that was, when I got back, she was like about maybe 2 or 3 months.
What could have caused the lovely relationship between Ms. Ewing and Mr. Hawkins to nosedive? Could it be that they weren't just meant for each other? Well, Casey was born, and she had to pay the emotional price by not knowing or meeting her dad for 27 years. There must be a reason why this is so, but in the end, the DNA test results should come to her rescue.
Did you ever doubt LaConda was yours?
No, no ma'am. She mine. She mine.
I don't either, LaConda.
They just asked me last weekend when I buried my mother. And on her obituary, 25 grandchildren, and you wanted them 25 grandchildren.
Mr. Hawkins has come with a very strong belief that Miss Casey is his child. In fact, he adds that she is one of his mom's 25 grandchildren. On the other side of the box sits Mr. Edwards with a very strong belief that Miss Casey has so much physical resemblance with him and his daughters, at least one of them. Ms. Ewing is the culprit of this dilemma. Who is going to be the heroic father?
Is the father of Ms. Casey, Mr. Edwards. You are not her father. Mr. Hawkins, you are not her father.
The results are out, and none of these two men is the father. Great time for Miss Ewing to give some explanation. Thinking she fed Miss Casey a lie for more than 25 years about her father being killed speaks a lot of volume about her escapades. She definitely was hiding the truth and protecting her own selfish interest. Now let's see the reactions.
Miss Ewing, do you know who her father is?
Yeah, I do.
And it's
his brother.
Mr. Hawkins' brother?
Whoa. Didn't see that coming.
So you were sleeping with him and his brother
He
at
was
the
gone.
same time?
No, not at the same time. He was gone. He was out to sea, and I had slept with his brother twice, and I told his brother I couldn't do this no more.
Miss Brewington, you are here to prove your 3-year-old son Giovanni is Mr. Lee's biological child, and you claim Mr. Lee has been a father to your son since the day he was born and is denying paternity because he wants to avoid paying child support. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee, however, says that Giovanni is not his son, and he is here to prove that he is 100% not the father. He claims that Ms. Brewington is a liar, and that he knew she was lying from day one. Well, Mr. Lee, if you knew the woman was lying and bent on taking all your money, why did you not speak up sooner? Why now? You've had quite a while to bring all of this up, so why now?
We were actually working on our relationship. We already have a child from a previous situation. We got back together. We're working on us. So when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't think it was going to be a shock or a surprise or anything like that.
And you say you know 100% you're not the biological father of Giovanni.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Oh, Mr. Lee, what are you doing? Are you trying to play the court? What does this man mean? Saying they were not having any intercourse, they were not together, whereas they were living in the same house and sleeping on the same bed. Oh, are you running a brothel in your household, Mr. Lee? Is that what is going on here?
Okay, I found out that I was pregnant. I actually went to the doctor to just re-up on my birth control. They said, oh, you actually missed your last shot. I didn't even realize it. They said that they had to do a pregnancy test before they could go ahead with the birth control. So I went ahead, they did a pregnancy test. It came up positive.
Now, Ms. Brewington is here calling Giovanni their love baby, and Mr. Lee keeps fervently denying it. It's basically a back and forth between the two. One person is lying, and one person is speaking the truth. Right now, Ms. Brewington is the only one with receipts, as she's pulling out dates and making it rain. We need more to work with here, Mr. Lee. She's lying is simply not going to cut it.
Today's on the 2nd of February.
My birthday was on the 1st of February.
2nd.
My birthday is on the, how you gonna tell me what day I was born? I was born on the 1st of February.
He said it's the 2nd.
Yeah, look, it's close. It's the same.
He around there just like he was around. Exactly. See, exactly.
Okay, that's it. Now he does not know her birthday too? You have been in a committed relationship with this woman, and you have at least one child together. Your credibility keeps dwindling with every passing second, Mr. Lee. It really just feels like these two were in a separate relationship because each story from the other's mouth simply does not seem to tally.
He was telling people I was just getting fat. He was like, she just eats a lot of fast food. Everybody was rubbing, my friends were rubbing my stomach. I'm showing ultrasound to people. He's like, don't believe her, she's just fat. The entire time. I'm talking about, I'm going into labor. He's like, no, you're not.
What kind of denial is this?
Whoa. Now this is one card that does not get used on paternity court often. Imagine being visibly pregnant, but your partner keeps telling people that you're simply fat. To make things even worse than they are, this man kept this up until she was in labor. That's 9 months. While Ms. Brewington was visibly pregnant with Giovanni, Mr. Lee was pregnant with his own baby too. This man was pregnant with guilt for all those months.
The birth certificate, right?
Yes, I did.
If you had all this denial and you say she eat fast food and this isn't even a pregnancy, but then you get there and execute a birth certificate?
It was the right thing at that moment. We already had a previous child, like I said, so...
You just go around signing birth certificates.
She definitely did, Judge. Ms. Brewington said everything that everyone was thinking, and then some. At this point, Mr. Lee, there is no amount of words this man could possibly have to say that would beat any evidence that has been provided by Ms. Brewington. Only thing that would save Mr. Lee from being seen as a complete psychopath is the DNA results supporting him not being the father. father.
He told me that she knows
My friend
who's the
told
father.
him that because she
Excuse me,
wanted
I
to
was
sleep
talking.
with him.
I'm still
I
talking.
actually caught them sleeping together.
What? So that's why you think this person was just telling him these lies?
Because it was shade the whole.
Oh, so he was cheating on her too? With one of her best friends. Isn't that something? That's what happens when you sleep with your girlfriend's close friends, Mr. Lee. They don't tend to tell you good things about said girlfriend. He kept believing everything this girl told him, no questions asked. Now Ms. Brewington caught them having sex too. What an ordeal.
She told me herself I wasn't the father, so
I told him that in anger, Your Honor.
multiple times.
So you know when you ring that bell, you can't unring it. That is a statement you can't take back.
But he looked exactly like him.
Now here's the popular paternity court card. Ms. Brewington digs up the semblance card and has her boyfriend's baby picture and Giovanni's picture side by side. Oh, Mrs. Brewington, that doesn't mean anything really. In addition, you can't keep telling a man that he is not the father of your baby, whether it's during an argument or not, and not expect him to believe that, especially with Mr. Lee, who believed that even before you mentioned it.
He knows to be his dad.
father.
Yes, he calls me daddy.
Calls you daddy.
Yeah, yeah.
With all of that,
Yes.
you still don't believe he's your biological son.
No.
Your Honor, that is his baby. And I can't wait, because the devil is a liar and this is Lucifer, so stop. No.
Oh, look at that sweet child. If this man sticks to his word, saying that he is not the biological father of Giovanni, just what exactly is to happen to that bond between them as it is? How is he able to keep having these thoughts and still be so fatherly to Giovanni? What have you been doing, Mr. Lee? Now, the major question is how Giovanni is supposed to come around from that. Ms. Brewington, however, keeps dropping lines like she raps for a side hustle. Let's come back to these two.
3 years old, a beautiful baby like that, and consistently have the man you believe to be his father deny him, have to deal with all of this drama. I knew behind all of the laughter and all of this.
Right. It's not right. You put me through this.
What?
It's not at all. I really do care
Look,
about
if you don't want that, you should keep your legs closed. That's all it is.
Whoa, that was a really low blow. Mr. Lee, you do realize that if this woman had her legs closed, that means she would not be sleeping with anyone for sure, and that includes you. So, what are we saying here? Selective leg closure, or what exactly, Mr. Lee? Next time, maybe you can suggest that she closes said legs while you're busy in between them. Maybe then, you'd have a point. Look at that. Let's get to the results.
Mr. Lee, you are not the father.
Told y'all.
Hold up.
I already knew it. I told you.
You were ready in that moment to step up and be a dad.
Get pregnant to be with him.
Why did it take 26 years to get this answer?
I would not wait till 37 years old.
Right. My daughter has a bond with him. She loves him.
They dropped me back off at home and I never hear from him again.
I have invested my life, my heart.
Was she correct? And was he correct?
Hurts my children.
I am miserable as hell. 8 years. I'm tired of this.
I honestly don't know.
Mr. Jennings raised his daughter for 23 years from diapers to adulthood and never for once doubted that he was her real father. However, today his ex-wife, Ms. Lynn, says that Taylor and Mr. Jennings deserve to know the truth. And you guessed it. The truth is that Mr. Jennings isn't Taylor's dad. Mr. Jennings says this is a lie and believes Ms. Lynn is just saying this because she's angry and spiteful.
Are you spiteful, Ms. Lynn?
No. First and foremost, if I was spiteful, I wouldn't be standing here right now because my daughter asked me to be here. And
So
as far
why?
as her being
Why?
13, I
Why
didn't
now?
tell her. His wife told her.
What happened?
She come to me and asked me if he was her dad because she said her stepmother told her that he was not.
Did your stepmother tell you that, Taylor?
I don't think so.
So that's not true.
What I remember is they were arguing.
Mr. Jennings says he's always heard the rumors that he isn't Taylor's dad, but he's never paid any attention to it because he knows that he's her father. And now, it turns out the reason Taylor was even conceived was as a way for Ms. Lynn to get married in Georgia without her parents' permission.
All right, I was very young. My parents did not want us together at all. It was strictly forbidden. I ran away from home to be with him. And the only way we could be together and get married without my parents' signature was I had to be pregnant by Georgia law.
So you all, as teenagers, concocted a scheme to be able to get married?
In order for us to get married.
Oh, so it's all coming together now. So Ms. Lynn tried to get pregnant on purpose so that she could marry Mr. Jennings. But if this is true, and Ms. Lynn loved Mr. Jennings enough to do that, why wouldn't Taylor be his child?
Question, he's your daughter's father.
He wasn't the only one I was sleeping with in order for me to get pregnant, to be with him. And he knew this then.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You all developed a scheme as teenagers to get pregnant so that you can get married But you slept with more than one guy?
Yes,
so
I
to
did.
make sure you got pregnant?
Yes, I did.
Paternity court gets a lot of insane truths, but this one is in a class of its own. Not only did Ms. Lynn sleep around just to get pregnant to marry Mr. Jennings, but she says she also told Mr. Jennings about it, and he agreed. This is insane. Thankfully, Mr. Jennings makes this less insane than it is by saying he knows nothing about this. Hopefully, he isn't just lying. To show us the true picture of things, he lights up the board and tells us about this whole get pregnant to marry thing.
We got together. Her parents prohibited us being together, so we leave and we go out of state.
So you moved to Alabama?
Back to where I was when I was in kindergarten. The law don't come up there. They know better than come on top of the mountain up there, so there was no chance of getting
Oh, you
caught.
went up on top of the mountain where the law don't come.
Yeah, the law would not come up there. They've been shot at so many times up there.
That's the vital thing to remember here. Mr. Jennings and Ms. Lynn were teenagers at this time, and they'd skipped town, gone up a mountain where the law gets shot at, and were scheming to get married. If they hadn't gotten divorced and ended up in paternity court, it might just be the craziest love story ever.
To be together.
Yeah, sometime in June, we came back down to Georgia. June the 21st, she was pregnant. We got everything, went to Carrollton Courthouse, got married. February 14th, Taylor was born.
Did you discover she was pregnant in Georgia, or did you discover she was pregnant on the mountain?
I think we was back in Georgia when we found out.
Which do you say, Ms. Lynn?
We were in Georgia when I found out I was pregnant.
You were in Georgia when you found out you were pregnant.
Incredible. The question now is, how did all the other men get into this? Could Mr. Jennings not get Ms. Lynn pregnant? Why did they have to involve other men? Were other men even really involved?
Did he know you were messing around?
Yes, he did. Because my
Mr. Jennings,
ex
please step
before
back to
him
the podium.
is one of the possibilities to be her father. He knows this because they hate each other with a passion.
Did the ex know you were trying to get pregnant so you could marry Mr. Jennings?
He knew I was trying to get pregnant. He never asked for any of the other details. We were in Alabama between February and mid-March.
One of the possibilities? So there is more than one? Of course, this is a proper teenage story, because only a teenager would know that someone wants to get pregnant and still sleep with them without a condom and not ask why.
If I ain't the father, then the other two, they ain't neither. It's gonna be somebody else. I mean,
because
that's
your
simple.
testimony is that during the time Taylor was conceived, you know you were with Ms. Lynn.
Yes.
And you know that you were not in Georgia, you were in Alabama.
In Alabama.
That is your belief. But Ms. Lynn, you testify that these dates are wrong.
Right, we were in Georgia when I conceived her, not Alabama.
Wow. They did all of this for a marriage that lasted for only 6 years. Ms. Lynn insists that Mr. Jennings was always aware that there was a possibility that he wasn't Taylor's father. She says that when Taylor was just 2 months old, one of the potential fathers sat down with them and discussed getting a DNA test done. If this is true, then Mr. Jennings is definitely lying, because that's not the sort of meeting you can forget. But Mr. Jennings still insists that he had no idea.
If I'd have known she'd been sleeping with anybody else, I might not even have known Taylor, because ain't no way that she's gonna sleep with somebody else and get pregnant to marry me.
And so when you heard that conversation, what were your thoughts? I mean, at that point, this would have been the first time you heard that there was a question as to whether or not you were Taylor's biological father.
That's when everything goes downhill.
Well, the other potential father told Ms. Lynn and Mr. Jennings that he didn't care whether Taylor was his child or not. Mr. Jennings says that point was when their marriage actually ended, but since he has another child with Ms. Lynn, I'd probably guess that's either a lie or a clear exaggeration. The only remaining question is this: why now? After all these years, why is Ms. Lynn taking this question so seriously now?
Oh no, she's his or God's.
And so why did it take 26 years to get this answer for Taylor?
That I can't answer. I don't know.
Because your testimony is that you've been open to get a DNA test from the very beginning because you knew there was more than one possibility.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Mr. Jennings even a possibility?
Yes.
Okay. And Taylor, this has always been daddy to you.
So we are done with the testimonies. Now it's time to face the truth. Remember, women lie, but the DNA test results never ever lie.
Jennings, you are not the father.
Taylor, just remember this, baby. It takes more than having a baby to be a parent. He's always been your daddy. He's always gonna be your daddy.
Do something that could ruin a life, you know? And it might be like, yeah, I'm your kid, but I'm not his kid now. So it's like it doesn't affect just you.
Richard believes that he's the biological father of 37-year-old Christine. He says he once denied paternity of her, but it's been 37 years and he now wants to right his wrongs. Mr. Miles hasn't seen his daughter in 21 years, and now she's in court to prove that she's not the biological daughter of Mr. Miles. And how does she know that? Simple, her mother told her.
Don't believe Mr. Miles is your biological father?
I do not.
Explain.
I don't believe you're my father. My mom says you are not my father. You've been absent for 37 years. Why? Why now?
Your mom said that I was your father,
Why she changed her story, I have no idea. But that's not the truth. And why now I had the opportunity.
Of course, the next question is why did it take 21 whole years to do that? If Mr. Miles really loved his daughter, he would have found her at some point in the last 21 years. But his excuse is that he was young and stupid when he met Christine's mom and really didn't know how to handle the responsibility of being a father. He says that's why he denied her in the first instance. In court, Mr. Miles was named the legal father and made responsible for Christine's child support. This came as a surprise to him because he didn't even know Christine's mother was pregnant.
You never were told she was pregnant. You were never told that I'm about to have the baby. You were never told the baby's born.
No, ma'am, not that I can remember.
How long were you in a relationship with her mother?
I was about 2 months is about how long we were together. I was living with her because I mean, like I said, I was 17 years old. I was couch surfing. I didn't really have any place to live. You know, when we got together, I moved in with her. And that's, you know, we do what we do in a relationship.
That's the problem right there. Mr. Miles found out that Christine's mom was sleeping with at least 2 other men that he knew of. These men were his friends, and they told him that they were sleeping with her. Unsurprisingly, Christine doesn't know this at all. And why would she? What mother would tell her child she was sleeping around while dating her supposed father?
So, Miss Turner, did your mother ever tell you anything about the relationship with Mr. Miles?
No, Your Honor, not until recently when I had asked her about Richard. And then she just kept on saying, he's not your father. I don't know why he's doing this now after 37 years.
So who did you grow up believing was your biological father?
I didn't. Not until I was 16. I didn't meet Richard until I was 16.
That's incredible. Childhood for Christine was extremely difficult, and things were even harder for her because she didn't have a father to hold her hand.
I was really bad as a student. I got in a lot of trouble. I went to foster care for 4 years. I went through lots of therapy to forget all this. And I'm back today.
But you're strong.
I'm strong.
And you're not alone, because we're here with you.
Thank you.
And so this was very difficult for you.
Christine says it doesn't take 17 years to find out if someone is truly their child or not. She says he could have done the DNA test at any point in the last 37 years, and yet he didn't do it. It's hard to disagree with that logic.
In 1992, we filed our taxes. Taxes came back, and there's a letter. You owe like $28,000 in back child support. And that just shocked me. Like I said, I just didn't have a clue that was even there.
And you didn't try to find out then?
I did.
What did you do to try to find her, Mr. Miles?
Back then, there was no internet, no cell phones. All you had was people that you knew and telephone line.
As far as excuses go, that's not the worst we've heard on paternity court. Anyway, Mr. Miles got around to paying the child support. However, the story of where the money went isn't as straightforward as you think.
My daughter apparently went to the mail and got the mail and said, Grandma, your name is on this. My mom opened it and it was a stack of child support checks. And I said, where'd you get that from? You never raised any of your children. And I said, that should not be going to you. And I didn't talk to her for a year after.
I know that's hurtful to recall. So that was the point where you realized that Mr. Miles, well, you didn't even know who it was. You just knew they were child support checks.
So Christine's mom took child support checks from Mr. Miles while claiming he isn't the father of Christine, and also while not raising Christine because she was in the foster care system. How horrible is that?
I arrive in this place. This man takes me. I spend time with him and his wife. He says he's my father. They drop me back off at home, and I never hear from him again.
That's right.
I didn't hear anything.
So why did you just disappear?
I didn't.
You can't try harder? If that was my daughter, I would have tried.
I couldn't take another trip up there. I couldn't afford it. I had a family and bills and rent and all this.
If I was paying child support and I didn't know for sure.
That seems to be Christine's big issue here. And who can blame her? She's been living in all this uncertainty for all her life. And now her supposed father waltzes back into her life, claiming he's her dad. While he wasn't present for the last 37 years, most people would be justifiably angry. And that's why we need the DNA test to show us what the truth is.
Miles, you are not the father. I'm very sorry.
We've had a connection ever since the day that I met her mom, because she was born and her mama said I was the father. That's why I went and looked. I'm sorry, Christine.
It's fine.
I hope you find your father.
Mr. Brown says he's always known that he was the biological father of Jira Lever. He says he's protected her, loved her, and taken care of her. And now Ms. Lever says he isn't her father. The first question we need to ask is why Mr. Brown is so sure that he is Jira's dad.
Your Honor, I know that I'm Jira's father. I mean, from the very beginning. That's my heart. She's attached to my hip. I've been taking care of her since day one. Fed her, bathed her, clothed her, taken her to her doctor's appointments. I mean, when Mom couldn't be there, I was there. And although she cheated, you know, I know for a fact that Jaira is my daughter. She looks like all of my children.
Touching monologue, Mr. Brown. But all of that isn't even close to evidence that Mr. Brown here is Jira's dad. People take care of and love children that don't belong to them all the time. That's one of the reasons why paternity court exists in the first place. Now let's hear why Ms. Liver says that Mr. Brown isn't the father of her child.
During the time that she was conceived, he wasn't really even around, and I had been with my ex. I just know.
So did you allow him to believe he was her biological father?
No. I always told Mr. Brown that he was not her father.
Did she always tell you that, Mr. Brown?
Not in the beginning, Your Honor.
That's not
What
true.
did she say in the beginning?
In the beginning, there was really no conversation.
Mr. Brown says he never took this possibility seriously, even after some of his friends told him he might not be Jira's father. Ms. Lever says he was away, but Mr. Brown says he does environment work and was maybe gone 3 or 4 weeks at a time. Importantly, he says that during the time he was home, he was almost inseparable from Ms. Lever. However, it kind of looks like Mr. Brown is massively missing the point here.
See how she had time or the opportunity to be with anyone else.
So you all had a real relationship?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, we did have a relationship, but our relationship has been pretty much rocky throughout the course of the 8 years.
It has?
Yes, ma'am.
And you assert that during one time in that 8 years, you slept with another man.
That's cold. The rest of the story is even crazier. Miss Lever says she was dealing with a sick family member, and her ex was going through the same thing too. So during that period, they rekindled their affair and became close. And then, were intimate, not at home, but in the hospital. Strangely, Mr. Brown continues to insist that he was at home.
In July, I was at home. Miss Lever and I also were intimate July 4th in our home by the back door.
Oh my God.
No, let me explain. We were outside, it's 4th of July. My children, our children, went down the street where my niece lives to pop fireworks with my nieces and nephews. Miss Lever and I were sitting out on the back watching them.
That's quite the explanation, Mr. Brown. But that only means that Mr. Brown could potentially be Jira's father. It doesn't mean he is actually Jira's father.
But Ms. Lever says she was having sex with her ex inside the hospital.
In July?
When I got
Yes.
I conceived, yes.
Miss
had
Lever, I
intercourse
just
on
want to
the
ask
court.
you, how do you have sex in a busy hospital?
I mean, it occurred. I mean, during that time, we were both dealing with a situation that was very detrimental. And during that time, we basically bonded.
Anyway, Mr. Brown is still insisting that he is Jorah's father, and Ms. Lever is simply not having it. It's clear she's tired of the charade and wants this over with as quickly as possible. And who can blame her?
He is not her father, and I've told him that from day one. This has been a mess. And I told Mr. Brown that he was not her father because, like, this is my ex, you know? And when I end up getting pregnant, I felt like it was my right to tell him so that he can move forward. But
So you felt like you were just trying to be honest.
It also turns out that Ms. Lever never put Mr. Brown's last name on Jira's birth certificate. Mr. Brown says this is a lie, and then Ms. Lever pulls out the actual birth certificate to show him she's telling nothing but the truth.
This is a mess, but he is not her father, and I told him that from day one. This has been a mess, and I told Mr. Brown that he was not her father because, like, this is my ex, you know? And when I end up getting pregnant, I felt like it was my right to tell him so that he can move forward.
Well, if he does nothing for his child, why does Ms. Lever have another child for him after Jira? The child in question is Genesis, and we will also be checking if she's Mr. Brown's daughter. Interestingly, Mr. Brown says he doesn't think Genesis belongs to him. So he thinks Jira, who Ms. Lever says isn't his child, belongs to him, while Genesis, who Ms. Lever says is his child, belongs to another person.
So wait a minute, Mr. Brown, do you believe you are Genesis'
Your-
biological father?
No, I do not.
Oh, you do not
I do
believe?
not, Your Honor. Around the time that Genesis was conceived, Your Honor, Miss Lever was involved with another individual that I saw with my eyes personally.
Were you involved with another man?
Me and Mr. Brown we were on a break.
Our man, Mr. Brown, says that he isn't on Genesis's birth certificate, and Ms. Lever says he isn't there because he provides nothing for her. Well, that may be true, but how did she know that at the point of birth?
So wait a minute, Miss Lever, you did give Genesis his last name.
Yes, ma'am. As I believe that he is her father, but it is a possible doubt. I was with someone else during the time.
And
Someone's.
No, boy, bye. You full of. So why you want to be with me then?
Because I love you.
Boy, you don't love me. You
stop
don't. You
loving you.
want to live with me because he ain't got nowhere to go.
Listen. So you all are still living together?
Because he won't leave.
Ms. Lever is clear she doesn't want to be with Mr. Brown, but Mr. Brown is also clear that he won't leave the house no matter what. He agrees that he doesn't work, which is a very embarrassing thing for a full-grown man to admit in court, and then says Ms. Lever doesn't work either. So how do they survive? Well, both of them and their kids survive solely off state assistance, and Ms. Lever admits this is true too.
At the end of the day, you are the man and you living in my house and you need to work or leave.
At the end of
you
the day,
don't work.
Your Honor.
You don't provide nothing.
Your Honor.
I'm sorry, but I'm just tired of this. He needs to leave. I am drove crazy. I'm just want him to leave. And if he want to be a daddy to them kids, he can be a daddy to them kids outside of the house.
And that is not true
the
either.
house is tainted.
That ain't true either.
It's
You know why I
tainted.
can't be a father outside the house?
What a strange case. And you somehow get the feeling that the best outcome for Jira and Genesis is for them to find out that both of them aren't their actual parents. But that's impossible, so we have to look at what the actual DNA results say.
In the case of Brown versus Lever, when it comes to 2-year-old Genesis Brown Lever, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Brown, you are the father. That's your little girl.
Okay, so we've got that cleared up. Mr. Brown might not like it, but Genesis is his daughter. Let's see about the next child, Jira. Ms. Lever says Mr. Brown isn't the father, while Mr. Brown says he is. Let's see who's correct.
Mr. Brown, you are not the father. This is overwhelming. Ms. Lever, what is it you're feeling in this moment?
My daughter has a bond with him. She loves him. They love him.
I am a full-time mom, and I also work as well full-time as a hairstylist. And I had one child with this man right here, and he is intentionally not trying to work to avoid paying me child support, and he's not helping with our child.
He's not helping doing anything?
Nothing, ma'am.
He's not giving you any money?
No, ma'am.
Is he paying for lunches?
No, ma'am.
Nothing.
I can barely get him to call and talk to his son.
Is there anything else you want me to know before I move to him?
No, ma'am.
Sir?
Yes, Judge.
Is there a reason you're not supporting your child?
Well, from what the attitude that she has today, I'm lost. First off, I do everything that I can for the kids.
Okay, when you say you do everything, she's saying you do not do anything. So what is everything that you're doing?
Well, when she asked me to pick them up, I pick them up.
Okay,
try to keep a job.
Let me ask the better financially to provide for this child.
Oh, well, I don't have a job.
That wasn't my question. What are you doing financially to help support this child?
Well, I guess nothing.
Your Honor.
You guess nothing. Yes, ma'am.
He did have a job at the post office, but once they took out child support, he quit.
Okay.
Literally right afterwards.
How long were you working at the post office, sir?
Probably about 2 months.
2 months? Okay. Is that about accurate? He was working about 2 months?
I believe so.
Okay. So you don't work are you currently seeking employment? Like what are you doing?
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm trying to start my rap career, so I really want to.
The father says he quit his job because his paycheck was going to child support, proving he cares more about himself than his own kid. That's beyond selfish. He also claims he's trying to be a rapper, selling CDs for $3, but that's not a real way to support a child. Instead of stepping up and being responsible, he's choosing instability over security. It's clear he's avoiding a real job that could actually give his child a better life.
You're selling CDs.
And Your Honor, he does.
What?
He does make money under the table. That's his goal.
Selling CDs?
Again, I know he's bringing in something, but I don't know how much. But again, I'm telling you, it's intentional. Like he's doing it on purpose so that he can avoid paying child support.
Sir, how much are you selling these CDs for?
On a good day, I'm getting at least $3.
$3
a pop, you know.
Per CD?
Yeah.
Ma'am, how much does it cost for you to pay for, how much is it monthly for your groceries to pay for lunch for these kids?
Monthly, I'm looking about maybe $500. I packed lunch.
What? $500? Mm-hmm. And you're making $3 per CD. How many CDs are you selling a day, sir?
If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Probably like 20.
You're selling 20 CDs in a day.
Yeah,
and you're making.
Like, I get gas. I can get gas. They give me a little food or whatever. That's about it.
So you're making like $60? Sir, you understand that's not enough to support this child, right? If you divide $500, right? That's how much your groceries are, correct? You divide that by 30 days, which are typically what's in a month. That's $16.67 a day. How do you expect your child to live off of that?
Hey, he come over, we go to McDonald's, I spend $6.
He also thinks taking his son to McDonald's and spending $6 is enough. Like that somehow makes up for everything else. That just proves he has no clue what it really takes to raise a child. Parenting isn't about buying fast food every now and then. It's about providing food, clothing, school supplies, and healthcare every single day. His idea of being a dad is way too small, and his son deserves way more than just a few bucks here and there.
I spend the time, you're not financially supporting them, so you're just leaving everything up to mom, right?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
She always say it's my child.
Excuse me, sir. It is your child, just like it's her child.
No, I'm saying when she say every time we having an argument or a conversation is, well, it's my child, it's my this. But when it's time to take care of the kid,
So you think that by her saying this is my child, that means she is solely responsible for paying for the child too? Is that what you're telling me here today?
If I ain't got no money.
That is your best case here today.
I'm just telling you, Judge, I tried with this lady. I have 7 other children, and she...
7 other children? How are you affording to have 7 children? Are you financially supporting them as well?
Nah, they mamas, they fool.
Meanwhile, the mother complains that the father doesn't give her money, but it seems like she relied on him too much, even though he's clearly not dependable. She knew he didn't take care of his other kids, so why expect him to be different this time? Instead of planning ahead, she put herself in a situation where she now feels stuck. It would have been smarter to prepare for the worst, knowing his bad track record.
What does that mean?
We still cool. We cordial. That's what it is, cordial.
So, with you guys being cordial, you think that excuses you from being able to financially take care of these kids?
They ain't tripping. She the only one tripping.
Okay.
And here's where it gets worse. This guy has 7 other kids and still thinks he doesn't have to pay because the mothers are nice to him. That's beyond irresponsible. He acts like just being on good terms with them means he can skip out on his responsibilities. The truth is, he keeps having kids without ever thinking about how to provide for them. His reckless choices hurt all of his children, who deserve way better than this.
Sir.
Why I gotta pay her anything?
You came here to waste my time, obviously. We are not about to play these games. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
You are going to pay this woman child support to support your child. The court has the obligation to make sure that we give you credit for any other children that you may have, but you are going to start giving her something to financially support these children. Now, what I can do, because based on the paperwork you gave me, you did not work at the post office long enough for me to be able to just see what you're making on a consistent basis. So I will set your child support at minimum wage.
If you're enjoying this content, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Minimum wage?
You know the minimum wage in Texas, right?
Nah, I just moved here.
Okay, well, based on minimum wage, the rate is $7.25.
What am I supposed to do with that?
$7.25. It's better than $3. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but by the time the taxes
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
as I was saying, that brings your gross to about $1,256. Your net, I have it at about $1,121.54. Your child support obligation a month is $203. Okay. I take that back. You said you have other children, correct?
Can you split that up in like 6 months?
Then when the judge tells him he has to pay just $145 a month, the first thing he asks is if he can split it into smaller payments. Let's be real, that's already a tiny amount based on minimum wage. If he actually had a job, paying it wouldn't be an issue. The fact that he thinks $145 is too much just shows he either doesn't understand or simply doesn't care about the real cost of raising a child. He's making excuse after excuse to avoid responsibility, and it's honestly pathetic.
And it will come out based on how you were paid. Were you paid twice a week or bi-weekly? How were you paid at your previous job?
You saying the CDs or? The post office.
The post office.
Oh, yeah, the post office.
Please do not mention that again, talking about some CDs for $3 and I just broke down. It costs $6 a day to feed your kid.
Yes,
I do not want to hear anything else about $3.
Yes,
and you're not actively looking for a job, so you need to actively look for a job as well. Giving you credit for the other children that you have, your child support obligation comes out to $145 per month, and that is to be paid each month. Understood? There is not a reason, sir, that I'm going to allow you to walk out of this courtroom and not give this woman anything who is spending $500 a month in groceries to take care of your child. Is there anything else I need to know here today?
Yes, ma'am. I also just found out that our child does not have insurance.
Okay.
Because of him. So I don't know what I need to do now. Do I need to go ahead and get insurance for our child, and do I need to pay for that?
If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
On your own. And you, sir, when she gets that health insurance cover, she's going to give you the cards, but you're also going to be responsible for reimbursing her for the amount of coverage for the child only. You understand?
So you're saying that
I'm saying what I just said. Did you understand what I just said?
Well, man, I'm trying to ask.
Did you understand what I just said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything further that I need to know in regards to the monies with taking care of this child? You want to tell me that you're making more than $3 so I can do some
all I was trying to say
recalculation?
was that, she's saying that I don't have to have, she don't have to have insurance, or she don't. So how does she obtain the insurance? Like
She will do that. I just ordered her to make sure that she enrolls the child in health insurance. I'm more concerned with making sure that you reimburse her. Understood? Okay. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're not on the football field, and obviously you're not either, because you're not getting a check. That's the problem. You told me about all these kids, and you running around talking about you gonna be on the football field, but you not, and you calling time out. It's about being a team, and you don't seem to know how to do that with your own wife.
We've known from his birth, because like he said, I was standing in the delivery room after I had worked a double shift when he was born, because I have been a grandmother, not a fake grandmother, fake father.
Seeing blood sisters in paternity court fighting over a man definitely couldn't have been on the list of reasons Judge Lauren decided to start paternity court. Blood sisters? Oh, we need to know what and where exactly things went wrong.
Hayes, you say that your sister, the defendant, claims to have a child with your husband of 10 years, and you have petitioned the court for a paternity test. And you are here to warn her that when he finds out her baby is not his today.
Holy Mary, Mother of Christ. For the fact that Miss Haya's husband stepped out of their marriage of 10 years is ridiculous. To make matters worse, he did so with another member of the Haya's family. These sisters genuinely are at each other's throats because of a cheat, but they prefer to look away from that aspect. What a shame.
I came home and found him and her in our bed naked, and I just, I can't believe it after everything I've done for her. I knew that they were sleeping together, but to put it in my face and be in my bed and me walk in and catch them naked, why would it be any different? She slept with my first husband and my second.
What? She slept with her sister's first and second husband, and she still gets the chance to stay in her new home? Maybe Ms. Hayes really doesn't care about her marriages. More importantly, Ms. Hayes doesn't care about her own mental health because they would make anyone mad.
And I didn't even know about my second husband until my dad
and she had
told
me around each of them in the same predicament.
So you're not denying this,
No.
Ms. Hayes. Just so the court can clarify, this was your younger sister.
Yes. I've had custody of this girl since she was 11. The choices that she made between...
That's a sad story from the senior Ms. Hayes. Probably she just couldn't bring herself to push her younger sister away, even when she's destroying her marriages and hurting her in the worst ways possible.
My life, myself, my morals, everything. And when I got clean,
every time you picked up a phone
when I got clean, I had been an addict and homeless for 15 years.
It wasn't your mom.
And I didn't know how to be respectful. I didn't know how to be a woman. I didn't know how to be a lady.
Another emotional story from the junior Ms. Hayes. But hey, Ms. Hayes says she couldn't go to her older sister to ask for sexual favors, even though she did come through for her in every other aspect. However, Ms. Hayes thought the best way to handle her sexual desires was to give free passes to her older sister's husbands.
Everything was great. We would live together, hang out together. I would hang out in her room, watch movies.
And at the same time, she's lying to him about things that I'm doing to get me and him to argue so him and her can go off and spend time together.
And at some point, she says, Corey, make my sister feel like a woman. I'm sorry. Maybe she did it for my best interest.
He came to me,
yeah.
and I said, do what you do.
Oh, that's a totally different turn right there. Ms. Hayes told her husband to make her younger sister feel like a woman, and she's trying to act like the victim? That's just over the top. Ms. Hayes Sr. and Jr. and even the husband that agreed to go for it should be blamed. These three individuals were out of pocket for that one.
Approaches you. Is there any part of you that just says, this woman has done a lot for me? That's one thing I'm just not gonna do.
I tell her today that I'm still grateful for her. I did not go about our relationship the right way again.
Yeah, right. At least some sort of decency could have come from younger Ms. Hayes' side, even if her older sister was in an open relationship or not. Going for it because her sister said so just seems like she had been thinking about it prior. Who knows if it had even happened before her sister's words.
Why do you believe if you've let them go off into the sunset into this relationship and you know they're together? Why do you think he's not the father?
He has a 6-year-old son. Well, actually, he's older than 6 now, and he raised a son that he believed was his for 6 years.
Oh, so the man in question allegedly can't have children according to his wife of 10 years. Now this case is getting divided into so many parts. The sister's betrayal, impotency, and even a marriage on the brink of its end. Guessing Judge Lauren can help with just one, and that's knowing if Ms. Hayes' husband fathered her younger sister's daughter or not.
There are questions that you may not be this beautiful little girl's father. Now, are you also in question about that?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not gonna lie, deep down inside, I do have some doubts, and that is because of, I've been through this situation twice before.
Mr. Hills doesn't even feel remorseful. He's in court talking about how he's been a victim of paternity fraud twice, but he's cheering on Ms. Hayes' younger sister that the baby is his. Let's just get to the results because this family drama won't be ending anytime soon.
Comes to 10-month-old Kayla. It has been determined by this court, Mr. Hill, you are her father.
Mr. Brock here seems like he's trying to get an easy pass to stop fulfilling his duty of being a responsible father to 2 daughters and another baby still in Ms. Almanza's stomach. It's a strange case, but trust Judge Lauren's paternity court and DNA test result to do justice to the situation.
Mr. Brock, you claim you have been supporting Ms. Almanza's 2 children for the last 5 years and are convinced they are not yours. You have petitioned the court requesting a paternity test to determine if you are the father of the children in question and the one she is currently carrying.
Ms. Almanza looks like she's in high spirits as she's smiling from ear to ear. It seems like Ms. Almanza knows something we don't know, seeing how she's even willing to accept the lie detector test. Maybe Mr. Brock needs to think about this paternity situation all over again.
After an 11-year relationship, do you believe the defendant has been lying and the kids may not be yours?
We've been dealing with each other for like 11 years or whatever, but the foundation of our relationship wasn't based on, husband, wifey, this was somebody who I was messing with during the time I was basically ending a relationship.
Mr. Brock's doubts seem valid, but he isn't innocent too, though. Ms. Almanza was fairly in the right too. They weren't in an exclusive relationship, so she had the right to not want to be loyal to him, but a baby springing from the time there was more than one sexual partner is the uncomfortable part. But again, Ms. Almanza won't stop smiling. There may be more to her smile.
Before I was incarcerated, she told me that she was a certain amount of months pregnant or whatever weeks or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, I agreed with it, whatever. But then when I got incarcerated, she had a doctor appointment, and the timing was off from the time she said she was pregnant.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, he asked me. He didn't say anything or deny my daughter. He just asked why the timing was off, because it's gone by weeks. It's not gone by months, how he was counting.
Again, Mr. Brock's doubt is valid, but that was just for one baby. How come he's doubting paternity for all 3 babies? And the worst part, as revealed by Ms. Almanza, is that Mr. Brock is still messing around like he did with her when they started. Who knows if he's just trying to wriggle his way out of being responsible for these 3 children? Who knows?
You're currently living together.
Yes.
You are obviously pregnant, and you just said he's still messing around?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. I'm pretty sure he
DNA test
is.
before, so it's like it's not.
How do you know that, Ms. Almanza? How do you know that?
He's had a child with my relative. He's
Mr. Brock said he accidentally had a baby with Miss Almanza's relative when they had a timeout. Is this like a sport where players get timeout? Mr. Brock must be on something to think what he said made any sense. Also, Ms. Almanza says the woke Mr. Brock, requesting for DNA and making it seem like she didn't cooperate, wasn't as plain as he made it sound. Okay.
Tell me what else makes you doubtful about all these children. I mean, 11 years.
11 years and he doubts me, but he's the one that I've caught with text messages, and I'm pretty sure females pick him up from my house because he walks around the corner.
Did that man just say not blatantly in her face? Ow, that's embarrassing. Mr. Brock says not blatantly in her face, but she still got to know about them. Maybe he wasn't careful or hiding it enough, or maybe it's just a woman's thing to find that out. Ms. Almanza will have to answer that one.
Why is it that you keep going back to him?
I don't want my children to have a part-time father.
So let me ask you both this. What is your relationship like right now, Mr. Brock?
It's
We're
a
like
roller coaster
roommates.
ride. It's a
We're
roller
like
coaster.
roommates.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Okay. Ms.
Appreciate
Almanza,
that.
what is
If
the
he
state of
doesn't-
your relationship?
When it comes to him and me,
Ma Almanza not wanting her babies to have different fathers is nice, but at the expense of the particular father she chose, denying paternity is weird. Mr. Brock doesn't even believe he's their daddy, even though he was at the baby shower. How comforting.
Why do you doubt after 11 years being in a relationship with this woman?
From the foundational relationship, how it started, this is your child. If that wasn't in there, we wouldn't be here today. I can guarantee you that. You know what I mean? But when that was presented to me, I don't duck on none of my children.
So you feel like Ms. Almanza's...
Judging from Mr. Brock's response, he definitely doesn't take their relationship seriously, as he prefers being with different women every other day.
You then said, I gotta step on up to the plate.
but if he doubts me so
Let's
much,
step
why
up
is
to
he
the
still
plate.
having kids with me?
And you kept...
Why? Why is, well, to me, why is the question asked by the deaf, dumb, and blind? We weren't in a relationship.
Ms. Almanza, the question is, why are you still having babies with him when he doesn't know how to control his sexual urges, not the other way around? And Mr. Brock's responses still seem out of place, so maybe we need to hear the DNA test results of those beautiful babies now.
It's to paternity for 5-year-old Victoria Brock. Mr. Brock, you are her father.
Nobody likes their partner cheating on them, but do married folks who stepped out of their marriage also get the right to be pissed about their side piece cheating on them? The answer to that should be a big no, because why is the pot calling the kettle black?
Gibbs, Miss Phillips, you are suing your ex-boyfriend for $1,000 in child care expenses you claim he has ignored since denying that he is the father of your 2-month-old daughter, Jordan, whom he refuses to meet. Today, you have petitioned the court for a paternity test to prove he is the father.
$1,000 in child expense seems to be Ms. Phillips' problem, as she's in paternity court requesting for that from her supposed baby daddy. However, her supposed baby daddy isn't willing to cooperate to pay her the money. Mr. Givebees believes Ms. Phillips is a promiscuous woman, and that means the 2-month-old baby isn't his.
Tell me about your relationship with.
Well, Your Honor, I thought this was gonna be the best situation. I thought that he was actually the one for me, and I think it started for me when, he went to this convention, a spiritual convention, and he came home that night. He was just like, you gotta go. So
Wait. I just must stop you. You're in a relationship.
A spiritual convention led to Mr. Gibbies wanting to throw Ms. Phillips out in the middle of the night. That's next-level wickedness. Anything could happen to that woman on the street. We need to hear more of this particular story.
So he takes me to a hotel. I'm in the car crying, boo-hooing. I'm like, why? Why? He was like, he can't do this no more. He gotta do right. So I was like, okay.
Okay, Mr. Gibbs, I have to ask you, is this true? Did you go home after the spiritual convention and put Miss Phillips out and take her to a hotel?
A lot of stuff led up to this event.
Not leaving with who you came to the party with is disrespectful for sure. But according to Ms. Phillips, she was trying to de-escalate the situation since she was closer to the family that had organized the event.
2 days later, I get a call from a mutual friend that says she was involved in the event.
I called you and told you.
My mutual friend told me first. They left and went to a party where I know what type of girl she is. She's a very promiscuous girl, put it like that, herself. So when she gets there, she's already in the car.
Maybe Ms. Phillips is promiscuous, but why was Mr. Gibbs stuck with a promiscuous woman to the extent of allegedly getting her pregnant? Mr. Gibbs could have left the relationship. and let Ms. Phillips have a good time like she desires.
Where I was with, talking to a friend of mine outside during a party, and he was telling me, I was with this one girl, man. We was in the back seat, we doing it, and all of a sudden, a guy in a black car pulls up, and he was like, I said, the black car pulls up. He said, yeah, she told me to go ahead and let's get out because.
Whew. What exactly is even happening? Miss Phillips being overly sexually active and Mr. Gibby's returning the favor. Seems like a perfect match made from heaven. But Mr. Gibby's finding out his friend digged his woman is crazy though.
Relationship ever been positive?
Yeah, it's been
for
good.
You?
Yeah, it's been good. A lot of times, like, cause it's been times that we actually did things together. I mean, we acted like a family. He had his 2 girls, I had my boy. We was, we was doing things we were supposed to do in a relationship. We just had a real relationship. It just, when he get in that mind frame where he assuming that something happened, it turns sour.
Ms. Phillips gave up on the dirty lifestyle and wanted her relationship to work out with Mr. Gibby's. But Mr. Gibby's wasn't satisfied, even when Ms. Phillips was having a hard time with her family about it.
In your statement to the court, you also talked about text messages.
I hadn't went to jail for about 2 months. And when I got back out, first thing I'm gonna do is go through your phone. Multiple dudes are in there making flagrant text messages. I'm horny for you, daddy, and all this other kind of stuff.
And that's a lie. It wasn't sexual.
Tit for tat is wild. These 2 grown-ups could have just ended the sour relationship instead of bringing an innocent baby into it. The baby doesn't deserve to be in their messy situation, but it is what it is.
Him, whatever, and we was getting into our relationship, he told me that he had been married before.
My wife at the time was living in Mississippi. We had been legally separated for almost 2 years at that
Well,
point.
I have a saying, a man is married until he is divorced.
Yeah, true.
If there's anything worse than being messy grown-ups, it should be given to these 2. Mr. Gibbs is standing right there acting like he's not still caught up in a marriage as he hasn't officially divorced the woman. And Ms. Phillips is acting like it's the best thing to any and every man to pass in between her legs. This is really shitty. Maybe it's time to know if the innocent baby belongs to Mr. Gibby's or one of Ms. Phillips's side pieces.
2-month-old baby Jordan. Mr. Gibbs, this court has determined that you are her father.
That's it.
Mother and daughter in court trying to know the biological father of the additional member to their family is just a whole different ballgame. The supposed father in question isn't in any of the stands in front of Judge Lauren. How weirder can it be?
Today we have the case of Coe v. Coe, mother versus daughter. Miss Coe, you say you're here today because your daughter is an out-of-control teenager and she needs help. Furthermore, you claim that you have serious doubts that your daughter's boyfriend, Mr. Boyce, is the father of your 7-month-old grandson. You say Mr. Boyce has been a good father to the baby, but that your daughter has numerous sexual partners, and so he needs to know the truth.
Is Mrs. Coe trying to protect Mr. Boyce, who her daughter says is the father of her child? Or Mrs. Coe just hates the fact that her daughter is a promiscuous young lady, and she would see to it that no man takes her words seriously? This is a dicey situation. Mrs. Coe wants to desperately prove that the baby is not for Mr. Boyce, so let's see how that will play out.
Miss Coe, please tell the court why you're here today.
I'm here because my daughter is out of control. She has an issue with authority. She doesn't want to be told what to do, how to do, or why to do it.
Give me specific instances.
Okay.
From Mummy's words, Ms. Coe is completely out of control, like her mother said, and wouldn't listen to anyone. Ms. Coe should be really grateful. It was a police officer her mother knew because hitting a police officer is a crime and Ms. Coe wouldn't have gotten off easily.
In addition to the court, you stated something about damage to your home. Please tell me that.
She made a phone call saying that I and my girlfriend had jumped on her because she still did not want to follow house rules. All I asked her to do was not disrespect the house.
What? Ms. Coe sent a gang to destroy her mother's home and properties? This is way beyond control. That young woman needs to be ickies up alongside her gang friends. Who calls a gang on their mother, though? The answer is simple. Only Ms. Coe would do that. We will come back to her mother's girlfriend later.
Every window, that's my house. That's me standing on the porch trying to take a picture because now I'm upset and I'm like, you know what? I cannot believe my daughter is gonna allow this to happen.
And I couldn't believe your girlfriend jumped on me and I was pregnant.
So she didn't didn't jump on you. They didn't jump. They broke out windows, car.
You didn't think they were going to do that. Did Ms. Coe call them to come help arrange their house or something? Talking about they took matters into their own hands. No, girl. You gave them the permission to do so when you called them to come to the rescue.
Is excessive.
And right
Over the
now,
top.
she's
and
really
dangerous. I want to know, how did you get here?
Well, most children grow up with their mother, they're not their father. I grew up with my father because due to the fact she abandoned me when I was 2 years old.
I did not abandon you.
I was told she dropped me off when I was 2 years old and never came back.
Oh, it's an abandonment kind of situation judging from Ms. Coe's words. But her mother is saying she never abandoned her as she had visitation rights and she always came over on the weekends. Ms. Coe seems to resent her mother, but allowing a gang to destroy her property is crazy.
Them boys in our house.
If y'all had a problem, y'all would have put them out. If y'all had a problem, y'all would have enforced the rules and put them out. Did something. I'm a child, like you said. I'm a child. If it was a problem, you should have put them out. If I'm a child,
I need to clarify something on this. Ms. Coe mom
moved the gang into the house? Ms. Coe was really on a roll. She has shown her mother all kinds of negative behavior while even disrespecting her personal space. That's just way out of line. No mother would appreciate that. And we can't even blame Ms. Coe for not training her because she wasn't even living with her till she was a teenager.
There was someone else. So when I find out she's pregnant, I go to the guy. I go to Larry. I say to Larry, look, as Zair's mother, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I've got to be 100. I say you need to get a DNA test.
But as the girl, I was being real and I said, I'm not gonna lie, but there is a possibility this baby could be someone else. I didn't just say you're the...
Zaire Coe's case is so complicated even her own mother doesn't know what to do about it. Ms. Coe moved the gang into her mother's house. The gang of 7 were having sexual relationships with each other still under her mother's roof. And everything's messed up now as Ms. Coe isn't sure about her baby's biological father.
From the beginning, I knew it was a possibility, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, he made me grow more, you know what I'm saying, since he been around. Cause my mom, she passed away. Once I told her about it, you know what I'm saying, she just, oh, that's my grandbaby. She buying him everything. I'm like,
so your mom...
Mr. Boyce says he lost his mother. That's sad. Oh well. Mr. Boyce is hoping that the baby will be his. Can't say the same for Ms. Coe and her daughter, but it would be nice if everyone gets to know the biological father of the baby to make the problem go away.
Comes to baby Christian, Mr. Boyce, you are not the father.
This marriage can be saved if Mr. Roberts is the biological father of Ms. Wyatt's baby. But why is Mr. Roberts suddenly doubting the paternity of their little baby after they have been married for a short while? Let's find out.
Ms. Wyatt, you claim that your husband, Mr. Roberts, is questioning paternity of your 1-year-old daughter, London, and it's driving a wedge into your marriage. You say that you got married after knowing each other for only 2 months, and your husband is denying the child only to hide his cheating ways. Yes, now, Mr. Roberts, you say that your uncertainty concerning Ms. Wyatt's daughter stems from the fact that her ex is still in her life.
It's never a good option when an ex is in the equation, and from the way Mr. Roberts has highlighted Ms. Wyatt's ex, it must have been a big problem in their marriage. Arms Wyatt's ex always being the safe space to run to during fights doesn't sit well with Mr. Roberts, and now he thinks he may be the father of their baby.
Now, Ms. Wyatt, describe the current state of your marriage.
Your Honor, our marriage is on the verge of divorce right now. First of all, he's denying our daughter, and I think it's just to cover up the fact that he does a lot of cheating. Like, for instance, one time I went to the store and a neighbor, he's 17 years old, and he came to the car and was like, hey.
Miss Wyatt says Mr. Roberts is just projecting his own cheating personality on her, and that's why they are having problems. Mr. Roberts thinks Miss Wyatt smiling with a teenager may cause some ridiculous type of activities, but Ms. Wyatt thinks her husband is just being unnecessarily insecure.
Now, how old are you, Ms. Wyatt?
I'm 33.
And how old are you, Mr.
23.
Roberts? So there's an age difference between the two of you that's significant.
Yes.
Have you given him any reason to feel upset?
I never, ever, ever gave him any reasons to feel like he should be insecure.
So now, Mr. Roberts, you obviously have a different account. Tell me.
Well, first of all...
So who are we going to believe? Ms. Roberts says his wife is lying about him cheating on her, and Ms. Wyatt says her husband is lying about her bringing her exes over to the house after she sends him away. But sending him home like a little boy is ridiculous. That 10-year age gap is really doing something in their marriage.
That's more than one ex,
Right.
you say?
Yes, it's 2.
And they're coming over to your house?
Yes. As like it's like a sample. You feel me? Like one time the tire went flat.
He couldn't fix it.
She had to go to the hospital.
He couldn't fix it.
She had to go to the hospital because it was like some issues with the pregnancy. So
Calling a mechanic or a taxi works better than calling your ex to come fix the tire, Ms. Wyatt. But considering the cost that would have been, Ms. Wyatt considered the option of calling her ex to help. You can bet on it that Mr. Roberts must have been raging with anger inside the house while the changing of tire was happening.
To believe that this child maybe is not yours.
Well,
it?
It was one more incident with my best friend.
Oh, what incident
like,
is that?
She said she was trying to do it to get back at me, which it probably wasn't that serious to even go that far.
First of all, Your Honor, you know
I'm
what?
not
What
finished.
happened?
I was with him in the car, and he was like,
So it's a back and forth thing between Ms. Wyatt and Mr. Roberts. Ms. Wyatt was trying to get back at Mr. Roberts by talking with his best friend because he had also previously done the same thing with her friend. Mrs. Wyatt also mentioned how Mr. Roberts has been hovering around all the girls in town. That wouldn't end well, though.
The court that you found that your wife, Ms. Wyatt, also has online dating profiles.
She does. Yes, she does.
Do you have any evidence of that?
Oh,
right.
yes, I do.
Oh.
What is this?
Jerome, can you hand me that, please? What is that, Mr. Roberts?
I believe that's Match.com.
Ms. Wyatt has a public dating profile? The only way that would be fair is if she had opened it after she had caught onto Roberts cheating on her, or he also has a dating profile. But if that's not the case, then Ms. Wyatt has no business talking down on Mr. Roberts.
Like I said, our marriage is on the verge of divorce. Yeah, I got into a marriage just after 2 months of us, but at the same time, it's going on 3 years, and he's not stepping up to the plate, and I'm getting tired of it. Like, I'm just getting tired. So, yeah, I made the profiles because at some point, I'm gonna move on if he don't tighten up. I have 2 boys and a girl. I feel like I have 3 boys.
Telling your husband you're about to make a dating profile and him not giving a hoot about it just further proves the damage in the marriage is beyond repair. Any man would be concerned and react in a different way, but Mr. Roberts bounced out. That man seems to be done with Ms. Wyatt.
Don't be always the man. If every time a problem go down, you throw him out like almost every week.
Your Honor,
like
you
every
get thrown out every week?
Just about.
Everything. How is he with your daughter?
I don't know. He's okay. He treats all the kids.
Mr. Roberts gets thrown out every week? That's crazy. Both parties seem to have their flaws, but Ms. Wyatt wouldn't even let Mr. Roberts complete most of his sentences. Ms. Wyatt wouldn't stop telling either. So it's preferable everyone hears from her judge if the 23-year-old who gets thrown out every time is the father of the baby.
Wyatt versus Robert. When it comes to 1-year-old London, Mr. Robert are her father.
Exactly.
Mr. Hill got the chance to get a test on his alleged fully grown teenager and desperately wants to know if he's the one that fathered him, or Ms. Harris has just been taking him for a fool as he has a whole lot of money for child support for 18 years.
Mr. Hill, you have petitioned the courts for years to get a DNA test on Ms. Harris's 18-year-old son, Taman, because you've paid more than $50,000 in child support, but you're not certain he's your child.
Ms. Harris's argument is that the 18-year-old son is a spitting image of his father, and that's about enough reason for Mr. Hill to stop doubting the paternity of the child. While that's fair, it still doesn't mean he can't doubt the paternity if he's not certain about if he fathered the boy or not.
$50,000 in child support for a child you don't think is yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, why don't you think he's yours?
Basically, she had sexual intercourse with somebody else.
Excuse me,
All right.
Your Honor. Excuse me.
Okay, so hold on. What, Ms. Harris?
He's a liar. A total liar.
Oh! Ms. Harris didn't even let Mr. Hill say his words to the last one before she cut him off, saying he's a total liar. However, Mr. Hill is trying to narrate to Judge Lauren how Ms. Harris had another sexual partner, most possibly within the time frame of the now teenager conception.
She slept with somebody
on
else.
numerous different occasions.
All right, but the point is when you were in your relationship that was supposed to be committed,
Yes, Your Honor.
she had sex with somebody else.
Yes, Your Honor. She told me numerous times. She basically, when I was with my ex, I was walking down the street with her.
A man not lasting long in bed doesn't mean he can't father a child, and that makes Mr. Hill's doubt about the paternity of Taman valid. Ms. Harris is there smiling and all, so we really need to know what's going on in her head.
I understand Mr. Hill's account, but I need you to fill in some of the blanks with your
interpretation
of the event.
I got
pregnant, first in the delivery room. He was so happy talking about he didn't want to sign a birth certificate, jumping, hollering, I got a baby. He cut the umbilical cord, everything.
Ms. Harris says it's the first time she's heard that Mr. Harris has doubts about their supposed son, as he was one of the most joyful fathers when the boy was born. But Mr. Harris mentioned again that he had been crossed once by another potential father of Tammond. One might think Tammond is a really lucky child, as these grown-up men are fighting over him.
Tried to fight you. What other evidence do you have that she was sleeping with somebody else during the time Tammond was conceived?
The always on the phone. I'm talking to her. She put me on hold for 5-10 minutes, something like that.
Mr. Hill believes that while Mrs. Harris was putting his call on hold for minutes, she was definitely talking to other men, and that corroborated his doubt about him not being the biological father of the 18-year-old boy.
Yes, Your Honor.
We get to the place where she's having the baby, though.
Right.
And you signed the birth certificate.
Yes, I did.
And you end up paying child support.
Yes, I was young and dumb, basically. I paid over $50,000 in child support, not knowing what to do, who to talk to, who to lead me and guide me in that right direction, telling me, don't sign the birth certificate since you have these doubts. Don't tell.
Probably Mr. Hill didn't go to Tammond's 8th grade graduation because of the doubts he had in his mind about the paternity of the boy. And Ms. Harris not showing up on court days and creating excuses for not proceeding with the DNA test just puts her in a negative light.
Regina Holmes, I'm LaToya's mother.
Thank you, Ms. Holmes, for joining us today. What do you know about this?
Mr. Hill, you need to be ashamed of yourself. Are you blind, Chris? Are you blind?
I'm not blind.
Do you see him, Chris?
That look exactly like
Do you see him, Chris?
Ms. Holmes just dished a different meal to Mr. Hill. Ms. Holmes turned the entire case upside down. Yeah, no one can deny the resemblance of Tammond and Mr. Hill, but it's not a crime Mr. Hill wants to clear his doubts about if he's the real father or not.
Thank you for being here, young man. I know this is hard for you to listen to, all these adults just arguing back and forth, but I want to understand from your perspective. What has this been like? Did you grow up with the understanding that Mr. Hill was your father, your biological father? Yeah. Were you ever told anything different?
No.
That's one of the saddest things we will hear on paternity court. Tammond doesn't have a relationship with father, and he's already 18. That's so unfair to the young man. Let's cut to the chase and know if Mr. Hill will realize he is messed up for not being a present father, or his intuition about not being the father of the boy will come to pass.
Versus Harris, pertaining to whether Mr. Christopher Hill is the biological father of 18-year-old Tammond Hill. It has been determined by this court, Mr. Hill, you are his father.
Can I say something, Your Honor?